scheduled to have surgery today on his injured right thumb. Prescott hurt last night, expected to miss 6 to 8 weeks. Dallas will turn to Cooper Rush as its starting QB beginning next week against the Bengals. There is still hope for Dallas this season because of its first half schedule, though, believes Hall of Famer Michael Irvin.
Y'all saw what Cincy looked like. You saw what Cincy looked like. But then after that, they got to run an NFC team. NFC team. We can get these teams, Giants, Washington, the Rams, Philly, Detroit. Then they get that bye. If I can get Dak back at this bye, that's all I'm thinking about right now. How can I win 3 of these games?
Michael Irvin on First Take. Steelers Defensive Player of the Year TJ Watt will get second and third medical opinions about his torn pec tomorrow, according to ESPN's Adam Schefter. If he needs surgery, his season's likely over. If he does not, he could possibly return in 6 weeks. Major League Baseball announced the Dodgers actually did not clinch a playoff spot yesterday as they'd thought. Because of an internal error, their magic number to clinch a spot remains 1. LA can clinch with a victory tonight.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all of your car care needs. We're close, convenient, and known for our guaranteed everyday low prices and excellent customer service from professional parts people you can trust. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts today. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios. That's right.
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us, AFR. Presented by Relief Windows. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Musso. And Mr. Toby Tomplake. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Always a little nicer when you come in on a Monday and all the local teams won. Of course, with respect to LSU and Southern, both local teams couldn't win, but I think we all understood the outcome of that game was never going to be in doubt. But Tigers were able to exercise a lot of their demons from the Florida State game, and the Saints pull off an improbable win against Atlanta. We'll get to all of it. Cole Cubelic, a little change up today, will be with us in hour 3 at 5:15 Central. So look for Cole today in hour number 3 to recap what happened this weekend in the Southeastern Conference. And boy, was it an eventful week for SEC schools. We'll get to the Saints in the next segment. We'll just kind of go chronologically. Saturday in Tiger Stadium, LSU beat Southern 65-17. The final score was really elementary. Just kind of just didn't matter. We all knew the outcome was going to be what it was. It was a pick-your-score. LSU led 28-0 midway through the first quarter. They scored 37 in the first quarter, 51 in the first half. It just wasn't a competitive football game. So for LSU, what you wanted to see was LSU correct a lot of the correctable mistakes from the Florida State game. And I think by and large, y'all, we saw that. So, of the most notable things that we saw, offensive line issues, special teams issues, some of those things that were fixable regardless of your opponent were fixed. So we'll delve into all of that. If there's one thing, though, that I would tell you more than any other that stands out coming out of that game, it's the fact that there is no quarterback controversy. If at any point you thought there might be a quarterback controversy or this conversation, the two-quarterback system going on, that died. That conversation, that debate died Saturday in Tiger Stadium. Jaden Daniels was 10 of 11. He threw for 3 touchdowns. He ran for another score. Garrett Nussmeier was kind of a mess. He threw 2 interceptions, including a pick 6, and probably could have thrown 4 interceptions in the ball game. Well, he should have thrown 4 interceptions in the ball game. And that really was the one big thing that was the differentiator that we talked about for months and months and months and months, is the fact that Jaden Daniels had all this experience coming in. The coaches had Brennan and Nussmeier and Howard here, made the decision to go get another player, and now you're seeing the illustration as to why. And I don't mean for this to be about Garrett, because I think he's going to be a very good college football player. He just isn't right now. And that's okay. It's not to say you can't improve, but so many of the people that were very gung-ho on Garrett Nussmeier were doing so based on nothing other than hype or potential. We saw Garrett Nussmeier play extensively one time last year. They scored 13 points in an overtime game at home against Arkansas. It just wasn't very good. So that's over. There is no need to have that conversation any longer. Jaden Daniels is your starter. He's led 8 straight scoring drives, and right now is very clearly the most efficient player that you have on your offense. He's actually leading the SEC in efficiency among quarterbacks right now, and he's top 5 in the country. He's the guy that's going to run your offense. We don't need to have that conversation anymore. That's done. The game itself went really well for LSU from jump. I mean, opening kickoff, boom, forced fumble. It was Xavier Carter who forced it, and right from jump, LSU special teams making an impact. First play of the game, they roll Daniels to the right and they throw it to Kayshon Boutte, in the right flat. So immediately they got Kayshon involved. I love to see not only getting him involved, but the creative ways they got him involved. The throw on the roll to the right, they brought him across the formation and did the shovel pass to him as he was coming across on the jet motion. They ran an end around to start the third drive, which went for 42 yards. So every way that they could creatively get the ball to Kayshon, they did. They got him involved. He was clearly very engaged in the game, and it helped that the offense got going. It is bizarre that LSU scored 9 touchdowns in the ball game, and none of them went to Kayshon Boutte, but he will get his, as I think we all know and suspect that he will. When you look at some other takeaways from the game, yes, quarterback has to be top of the list among them. That conversation is just no more. But we also wanted to see special teams get cleaned up. We wanted to see fixing the things that went so wrong against Florida State, and we saw a lot of that as well. You didn't have a punt or a field goal, a PAT blocked in the game. That's as elementary as it sounds. That's important. You had 2 of them, in one game. Jack Mashburn went to the left wing and replaced Mason Taylor, who was there against Florida State. So that feels like such an obvious decision that should have been made initially, to put the more veteran guy on the field who's kind of more of a blocker than the more natural pass catcher, but they fixed it. They got it right. Gregory Clayton returned punts. You might recall back in June, Gregory Clayton was a guest on AFR after he transferred into LSU. He sat in studio right here next to me, and we chatted about his whole journey. He's related to Jarvis Landry, prepped at Lutcher, went JUCO, then UTSA, had a relationship with Frank Wilson. Ultimately, they were aware of him, got him here to campus. He's a receiver caught in a logjam. He's walked on right now, but Brian Kelly mentioned on Monday that Clayton could be a guy who's in line for a scholarship down the line. But he did the thing that Malik Neighbors couldn't, and let's catch the punts. So even at an 18-yard return on his first punt. So special teams cleaned up. Jay Bramblett, who had a shankopotamus against Florida State, he had a couple of punts in the ball game, averaged almost 44 yards a punt. So that was really nice to see. You made all of your PATs in the ball game. Damian Ramos did. And they even got the Trey Finnison, the Northwestern transfer in, who hit the last kickoff of the game. So you got a lot of those guys' action as well throughout the ball game. The changes on the offensive line, we saw Garrett Dellinger go to left guard, Charles Turner start at center, Miles Frazier start at right tackle. So that's not exactly the offensive line that we saw throughout the majority of fall camp. But it's a line that seemed to be more effective in spots. Here's what I mean. Charles Turner is a more natural center, obviously, than Garrett Dellinger. But even still, you had 2 different false start penalties because you had a snap infraction where Charles Turner didn't snap the ball and guys moved. That's one of the benefits of reps throughout camp. And I know we harped on this a lot throughout camp with the center battle was new quarterback, new center. You need that timing of the snap, the cadence, because everybody's cadence is different. And then centers are going to snap it differently. They're going to hear it differently. And then timing, handing off, and receivers, and all that stuff. familiarity with the guy playing next to you. All that mattered, and they missed so many reps throughout camp, so many opportunities for reps throughout camp because they were trying to figure out who was going to be where. Well, now if you've seen solidified there with Charles Turner at center, Miles Frazier is certainly a better tackle than he is a guard. I like him at right tackle. Will Campbell at left tackle makes a lot of sense, and if you like Dellinger better at guard than center, you'll roll with that, and Bradford's your right guard. So you seem to have your starting five, at least the starting five that you're going to go with this week. Brian Kelly did mention on Monday he loved the way Emory Jones played. I tend to agree. Everyone watching on TV got to see the spotlight pancake block. He had 20 yards downfield near the right front pylon. That's the type of physicality Emory Jones brings, and I love it. My hesitation, we talked about it last week, my hesitation, though, if you're playing EJ, you'd have EJ and Will Campbell. You'd have two true freshmen on your offensive line. Massively talented young guys who are going to be great players, but you just get much younger on that line. Are you willing to let those guys grow up throughout this season? That's a question Brian Kelly, Brad Davis are going to have to answer as this season goes along. But you get John Emery back this week. That should cure some of your rushing woes. Armani Goodwin had 12 for 85 against Southern. He did have the beautiful run, the 38-yarder around left end where he stiff-armed a guy straight into the ground, which was gorgeous to see. Noah Kane had 10 for 51. He had some short yardage success around the goal line where Williams scored a touchdown on a short run. So all in all, it's hard to find fault with much of anything except the turnovers, and even still, B.J. Ojolari didn't dress. You had Ali Gay, who missed the first half due to targeting, so you got to see a lot of young guys get out there. Desmond Little lived up to the hype. He impacted consecutive drives where on the Baskerville pick six, it was Desmond Little who tipped the ball, Baskerville interception pick six. On the next drive, you had a 3rd and 3. Little, who wears number 8, forced the fumble. So those young guys got their opportunity. Savion Jones started in place of Ali Gay, and I thought played really well also. So, and look, Harold Perkins led your team in tackles with 7, getting the opportunity to play a ton, out there with some of the depth issues at linebacker, some of those guys missing. My other one big takeaway is Micah Baskerville. Micah Baskerville has got to be on the field. And Baskerville told reporters after the game that he was initially going to be suspended for 2 games. They appealed 1. They found that out the Thursday before the Florida State game, which is why he was out there. But that does go to explain why Baskerville was running 3rd team throughout much of camp. They were trying to keep him engaged, get him reps, but they weren't thinking they were going to have him the first 2 weeks, and ultimately they did. Micah Baskerville's got to be on the field. I don't care what type of practice player he is or what you think he is, if he's not physical enough or whatever for what they're looking at. The bottom line is with Micah Baskerville, he is a smart football player, and every time he's on the field, he makes plays. He made 85 tackles a year ago. He's a veteran who came back to help lead this team back. He is not afraid to stick his nose in and make tackles at the point of attack, and he is athletic enough to turn and run with running backs and tight ends. He can defend the pass. In this week in particular, with Mississippi State coming in, Micah Baskerville is the prototype. He is the prototype linebacker you want against Mississippi State. So you just have got to have Micah Baskerville on the field a ton this week with Mississippi State coming in. So hard to find fault with much coming out of a 65-17 win. Tigers executed really well. It was nice to see. We could certainly have the conversation if you would have preferred to see that game before they played Florida State. Obviously, there's reason to believe that would have helped. But it's spilled milk at this point. Onward, LSU brings in Mississippi State. A game that, the spread, the opening line was LSU by a field goal. It's moved all the way the other way at this point now, where State's a 2.5-point favorite. So you've had a lot of action already on that game, and it looks like LSU might go into their SEC opener, a slight home underdog to Mississippi State, but we got a long way to go until Saturday. All right, there you have it. We'll knock out a quick break. We will circle back to a lot from Saturday and a lot of what Brian Kelly had to say at his media availability on Monday earlier today. So we'll get to all of that throughout the show, and you're always welcome to join us. You can email us, tweet us, jump in the Bayou YouTube chat, or text us in the 225 at 396-4400, 396-4400. We're brought to you by Schutz Electric, CESofLA.com, CESofLA.com. Could not be easier. Home standby generators, tell you about them every single day. Schutz Electric, my customer service experience was awesome, and the best part about it is when the power goes out, I don't have to go running for flashlights anymore. We don't have to go wheel out a generator just to power big appliances. Don't have to pack up our life and go stay with a family. Power goes out, our generator from Schutz Electric powers on. Our Generac powers on and powers our whole house. It's affordable, Financing is available. They are experts in the industry at Schutz Electric. They have an entire division just for generators. This isn't a company that dabbles in generators. They have an entire division that this is what they do, is home standby generators. So learn more at cesofla.com, cesofla.com for Schutz Electric. Okay, we'll knock out a quick break. When we come back, Saints rally. They stun Atlanta. The Hoodats are 1-0. We're talking about it next on AFR.
AFR.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Bayou Ford has $15,000 off MSRP on a new 2021 Ford F-150. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million-mile powertrain warranty and free delivery. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big D and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
It's no secret, the best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl.
after further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding. Call 288-8138 or visit reliefwindows.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
From the left hash, Falcons trailing by 1. Koo from 63 yards out. It was blocked. And the Saints win the season opener in dramatic come-from-behind fashion, trailed by 16 points in the fourth quarter.
That's how it sounded on Fox Television. The Saints do it to the Falcons again. I love looking at the win probability chart at ESPN.com. It's a chart that goes as the game is going along. It fluctuates the win probability for the game. And with Atlanta leading 23-10, mind you, this is before they kicked the field goal to go up 26-10. Atlanta had a 97.1% chance of winning the game. It was still over 90% before the Saints had scored the game-winning field goal, but still 97.1% late in the fourth quarter when Atlanta had the football, and the Saints still managed to rally and win the game. Atlanta has just been punished by these types of results. Our buddy Blaine Crane from Crane & Company, he tweeted a graphic that was a screen grab of all of these different Fox box scores, like the graphic that you'd see on the game, like during the game. Of course, they had 28-3 on there from the Super Bowl, 30-20 against San Diego. I don't even remember when that game was. A 17-0 lead against Miami with 12:50 to go in the third quarter. The game against Dallas a couple of years back when Atlanta led 39-24 with 4:57 to go in the game and lost. A 26-10 lead against the Bears with 6:22 to go in the ball game and lost. The 24-7 lead they had against Tampa, with 4.5 to go in the third and lost. And then, of course, the 26-10 game yesterday. This is just a franchise that has been miserable and does not know how to finish games. And it doesn't matter if it's Matt Ryan as a quarterback or whoever the head coach may be. But this is less about Atlanta and more about New Orleans. If you've listened to this show for any length of time, you've heard me say this in the past, and it bears repeating right now. You never, ever, ever apologize for how you win in the NFL. It is too hard. It is too hard to win in the NFL to apologize or make excuses for how you won. This isn't college football where you're a 3-touchdown favorite and you need to pull one out at the end and you get some lucky bounces. It ain't about that. Everyone is a pro. And yes, Atlanta had to leave the door even slightly ajar. But they did, and the Saints kicked it in and executed in the fourth quarter. When they had to score quickly, boom, 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 boom. 4-play touchdown drive. Welcome back, Mike Thomas. 2-point conversion. Got to stop. Boom, boom, boom. Right down the field again for the game, which could have been the game-tying touchdown, but they missed the 2-point conversion. Horrible play call, which we'll talk about. But then they got another stop. They forced a 3rd and 1, came up with the play. Of course, Mariota fumbled the football. The Saints get it back, and we know what happened from there. Ultimately, when the Saints were down 26-10 in the fourth quarter, the Saints were down 26-10. The drive chart went touchdown for the Saints, punt for the Falcons, touchdown, punt, field goal, end of the game. They made the plays offensively. They got the stops defensively when they had to have it, and they came up with a win to start 1-0. You don't think Cincinnati would love to be 1-0 today? You don't think Matt Ryan and the Indianapolis Colts would love to be 1-0 today instead of 0-1 because Rodrigo Blankenship missed a kick? Flip side of it, how do you think the Browns feel today with Cade York hitting a 58-yarder to beat Carolina? You never apologize for how you win in the NFL. A win is a win. They count the same, and it's on to the next. The reality about this game, though, is the Saints were pretty awful for 3 quarters. And it's crazy considering how the game started. Atlanta puts together a nice drive. The Saints come up with a hold to force the field goal. You're feeling good about it. You held them to 3. You get the ball back, you go 3 and out, it looked pretty ugly. But then it felt like the Saints had stolen the momentum after that point. You force a 3 and out, Taysom takes over, you go score the touchdown, you're up 7-3. Pete Werner comes up with a huge play to force the fumble, and you doink the field goal. So instead of being up 10-3 and having all of the momentum and having Atlanta think it ain't going to be their day because they're not supposed to be any good and their defense was atrocious a year ago and you got Marcus Mariota at quarterback and all that stuff, instead everything changed after that doink. Atlanta puts together a touchdown drive. They have the lead, and they would hold that lead again until the Saints ultimately kicked what ended up being the game-winning field goal with 19 seconds left. A couple of things on the game itself. Yes, the offensive line has issues. James Hurst was not good yesterday. Neither was Cesar Ruiz. I'll also say that there were times where Atlanta was bringing 7 and the Saints had 5 blocking. 5 can't block 7. So how much of that is specifically on the offensive line? How much of that is on Pete Carmichael and his play call? It was bizarre to see Atlanta bringing so much pressure and the Saints not dial up a screen until the fourth quarter. By the way, that was to Alvin Kamara when he got dropped for a 10-yard loss. Atlanta read it perfectly. But I would have expected a better game plan by Pete Carmichael than what we saw. But ultimately, and I thought Peace, the defensive coordinator from Atlanta, played it brilliantly. We all knew going in that the strength of the Saints team was Jameis Winston throwing to all of those receivers. And they pressured Jameis on every single drop back to where he didn't have time to go find all of those receivers. For the game, Atlanta had 4 sacks, 4 tackles for loss, 8 quarterback hits, and 2 pass deflections. They just harassed Jameis Winston. And they were up 16 late in the fourth quarter and decided, hey, look, the only way we're going to lose is if we give up a quick score. So just keep everything in front of you. And they started playing off the receivers. They gave them even the slightest bit of space, and you saw what happened. Jameis made him pay, and those receivers made him pay. So it was validating to see the Saints put together the quick touchdown drives that they did, to see Michael Thomas go one-on-one with A.J. Terrell, the best cornerback that Atlanta's got, and to abuse him in the fourth quarter. It was invigorating to watch Jarvis Landry have 7 catches for $114. The one he made in double coverage on the left sideline on the second touchdown drive was incredible. It was, the play call to Chris Olave and the 2-point conversion was awesome. We even got to see Juwan Johnson get involved as the tight end after the bizarre grounding call, which we'll talk about. They went over the middle to Juwan Johnson, who got him the yardage back to go kick the 51-yard field goal. So Juwan had a beautiful play on the sideline where he kind of toe-tapped and hurdled the guy. So there was a lot of good late in that ball game. The defense had to play well enough to keep them in it, and the offense had to make plays whenever they had the opportunity. Ultimately, they did, and they won the game. If I had 2 other takeaways, I would tell you that when the offense is churning, obviously, I think they can be special. And we saw that with how they played in the fourth quarter. And defensively, Pete Werner was awesome. Pete Werner led the team with 13 tackles, 12 of them solo. He had a TFL, and he had a forced fumble. There was a lot that didn't go well for the defense. You really need Paulson Adebo back because Bradley Roby had a rough day in a Debo spot. Having everybody shift spots because Adebo wasn't there didn't go great. And that's sort of the downside of not having Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, right? Everybody, when Chauncey exited, everyone sort of had to move up a chair. And you thought, okay, but the problem is now when Adebo out, everyone else had to move up a chair again, and you were vulnerable. But Pete Werner was awesome. 13 tackles, 12 solo, a TFL. He had the forced fumble, which was an awesome play. And it's validating for why you let Quan Alexander walk. This is a player that they took with a high draft pick, that they believe in, that lived up to his billing in that game against Atlanta. And, as much as we all wanted Quan to be in New Orleans because he's an LSU guy, and because when he's healthy, he's really good, the reality is, and we've talked about it so much, Quan has never been able to stay healthy in his career. He's had one season. It was his second year in the league in Tampa. One season where he's played a full 16 games, then 16. One. And the Saints looked at Pete Werner and said, we like this guy. And he rewarded their confidence because he was awesome in that game for the Saints against the Falcons. Linebacker depth clearly is something that they need to address, but the combo of Demario Davis, Pete Werner looks like they're going to do just fine. So, fantastic game for Pete Werner. And Saints welcome in Tampa to the Dome this week. It's a very different challenge. I mean, this defense over the years has struggled with running quarterbacks. We saw it, we saw it with Jalen Hurts. We've seen it with Lamar Jackson. We've seen this defense struggle against teams with mobile quarterbacks. And Marcus Mariota made him pay with his running ability. He ran it 12 times for 72 yards. That opened up Cordero Patterson, who was really good. First time in 20 games, the Saints have allowed a 100-yard rusher. But it's a very different challenge this week with Brady and the Bucs coming in. And they have their own offensive issues, as we saw on Sunday Night Football, which we'll talk about a bit more as well. So you're 1-0, on to the next. Dennis Allen is meeting with the media, supposed to meet with the media at 3 o'clock. Might be doing it right now. But if Dennis Allen gives any updates or says anything of note, we'll come back to it here throughout the show today. All right, glad you're aboard with us here. We'll knock out a quick break and go around the SEC. We're brought to you by DraftKings, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. You want to bet on Monday Night Football tonight? You can do it at DraftKings, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. You know the drill. Bet just $5. If you're a new customer, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use the promo code Baton Rouge. Bet just $5. Bet just $5 on either team to win in this game. And they will give you $200 in free bets right now at the DraftKings Sportsbook app. So if you are a new customer, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use the promo code Baton Rouge. Even if you're not a new customer, there's great ways that you can win right now and get paid instantly with the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Just get the early win promotion. Bet on either team to win. If your team is leading by 7 points at any point during the game, you get paid instantly. That's for new and existing customers. It's at the DraftKings Sportsbook app. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and be sure to use the promo code Baton Rouge. 21 and older, physically present in Louisiana. Select parishes only. Bonus issued as free bets. One early win token issued at opt-in. Moneyline bets only. Deposit and wagering restrictions apply. Eligibility and terms at DraftKings.com/football. Terms. Licensing partner Golden Nugget Lake Charles. Gambling problem. Call 1-877-7-0-STOP. All right, y'all. It's after further review. We'll go around the SEC when we come back. Big shakeup in college football's top 25. We'll get into that. Brian Kelly trolling all his haters today. I love to see it. That's all coming up. Glad you're here. It's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by Clegg's Nursery, 4 locations in the greater Baton Rouge area, and I've got amazing news. Fall is here, y'all, and that means it is time right now to go see our friends at Clegg's because they are set up and ready to go with all of their fall decor. Clegg's has pumpkins. They've got hay bales. They've got squash, gourds. It is time to decorate for fall, and Clegg's can help you do it. So get by any of the 4 Clegg's Nursery locations: Seagan near Airline, LA 16 in Denham, Mid-City on Donmore, and the Garden Center on Greenwell Springs. As you're leaving Central heading toward Baton Rouge, you can't miss it on the right. Little early for trees and shrubs. We'll wait till maybe the middle or end of October, but it is time to plant your fall garden, your fruit trees. They've got new shipments of fruit and citrus trees coming in every day. They got it at Clegg's Nursery. Also, deer hunters, buck busters, mow bucks, deer feed, deer corn, rice bran. They've got it all for you. So go see our friends at Clegg's Nursery. Buy local, shop local. Tell them Matt sent you to Clegg's Nursery.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
I'm Jay Ducote. I grew up learning how to cook at LSU tailgate parties and right in my own backyard. And I created JD's Louisiana products to bring that Louisiana flavor to you at home for your backyard cookout. JD's Louisiana barbecue sauce, Louisiana molasses mustard, spicy and sweet barbecue rub, and more are available at your local supermarkets or by logging on to jducote.com/shop. Put in promo code CST for 25% off at checkout.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding. Call 288-8138 or visit reliefwindows.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Congratulations to John Torrance of Hammond. John is our Week 2 winner in the 2022 Twin Peaks College Football Pick'em Contest and wins a $50 Twin Peaks gift card. Don't forget to make your picks for Week 3 by 5 p.m. on Thursday. Play the 2022 Twin Peaks College Football Pick'em today at 1045ESPN.com.
So I guess if we're playing by Terrio's rules, then I don't get punished for not making my picks, right?
Oh, you forgot to make your picks.
I didn't make my picks this week.
No, you get a 0.
No, I don't get punished, right?
No, you get a 0.
No. Well, it really just
That's how it works.
depends who the teacher is, right? Depends who you're asking.
No.
Some of you really cool. It kind of lets you go back and make, oh no, I get a 0?
You get a 0.
Oh, so you mean Terrio gets a 0 for Week 1 then also, yeah?
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. As long as we're clear on that. All right, it's after further review. We'll go around the SEC in just a quick second. Big shakeup around college football. Obviously, with the weekend that was, you had a couple of top 10 teams go down. Texas A&M loses at home. Oof. Texas A&M loses at home to Appalachian State. It's not just that they lost to Appalachian State. It's that they lost to an Appalachian State team that gave up 60 a week ago. 63 to be exact. And scored one offensive touchdown. The interesting thing about A&M, A&M doesn't bother me the way it bothers a lot of people. I know, by the way, I am acknowledging I am very much in the minority here. And yes, I laughed heartily at them losing to Appalachian State. Was very much cheering for Appalachian State. I am not a cheer for the conference guy. I don't need A&M getting good. There's enough good teams on the schedule. I want them to be bad. I guess my point with A&M is I'm a little more indifferent just because they've never been good. They've never been a threat. If A&M were a threat like Bama is, there's something you're trying to ascend to, a team that like you're going to be an underdog every year. Like if that were the case, maybe I'll feel a little different, but I feel about A&M the way I feel about Kentucky. I just don't have much there. And I get it. There's been a lot of stuff, in recent years, the 7 overtime and all that. But until A&M starts winning a lot, I don't know that this feeling changes. I mean, they're just they do their thing. They do their yells and they're the milkmen and all that sort of stuff, and they're them. And they're going to lose 4 or 5 games again this year. So, I mean, until they get to a point where they ascend, it's really not worth me getting emotional about A&M, except to laugh at them when they lose to Appalachian State. All right, we do it every day about this time. Let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products, excellence in imaging solutions. The Kentucky Wildcats.
So Kentucky has confirmed running back Chris Rodriguez has been cleared. He will return at Ole Miss on October the 1st. He's missed the first 2 games of the season while it's not listed on the Week 3 depth chart against Youngstown State. It's been resolving an eligibility issue with the NCAA. Rodriguez just 1,134 yards shy of Benny Snell's career rushing mark at the University of Kentucky.
The Ole Miss Rebels.
Speaking of the Rebs, Lane Kiffin still has not decided who's going to start at quarterback this week for Ole Miss. Luke Altmaier was practicing right alongside Jackson Dart on Monday at practice. The 2 quarterbacks are predetermined to split starts in the first 2 games, and Lane Kiffin says he has not made a determination here in Week 3. Ole Miss will get their first road test Saturday when they travel to Atlanta to take on Georgia Tech. Ole Miss is a 14.5-point favorite over the Yellow Jackets.
The Florida Gators.
Florida sophomore backup quarterback Jack Miller, who underwent thumb surgery during fall camp, is unlikely to be available for the Gators' Week 3 matchup against USF. That means Jalen Kitna and walk-on sophomore Kyle Engel will be the backups. Jalen Kitna is the son of former NFL quarterback John Kitna. Did not see action last year as a true freshman. Engel is a former walk-on from the 2019 season who has not played yet during his Florida career.
The South Carolina Gamecocks.
Man, a couple of really significant defensive losses for Carolina in the loss to Arkansas on Saturday. It was a 44-30 loss, but man, they lost more than that. Defensive starters Jordan Strahan and Mo Kaba both tore ACLs, both out for the season. Caba's a junior, also suffered a torn ACL in high school. Strahan's a super senior, passed on the chance of going to the pros for one final season at South Carolina. Team played Saturday also without defensive backs R.J. Roderick and David Spalding. Their status still up in the air.
The Auburn Tigers.
Auburn expects to have one of its starting wide receivers back in time for its marquee non-conference matchup this weekend against number 22 Penn State at Jordan-Hare. Malcolm Johnson Jr. missed last weekend's game against San Jose State. Is expected to return this week against the Nittany Lions for a 2:30 kickoff at Jordan-Hare on CBS. Johnson earned the starting job at the Z receiver spot heading into the season.
The Arkansas Razorbacks.
And an attaboy for junior linebacker Drew Sanders. He's been named the Walter Camp National Defensive Player of the Week. Helped Arkansas to a 44-30 win over South Carolina on Saturday, as we discussed. Career high in tackles with 11, 8 solo stops, 3 tackles for loss. Also forced 2 fumbles. Big day for Drew Sanders at linebacker. Arkansas back in action Saturday when it welcomes in Missouri State and head coach Bobby Petrino. There you have it. That is Around the SEC. Presented by Gulf Coast Office Products. Shout out to our guy, Trey Beal, and our friends at Gulf Coast Office Products. Online at gcopnet.com. gcopnet.com for Gulf Coast Office Products. 45 years in business. That's Gulf Coast Office Products. 20 years as an official partner of LSU Athletics. gcopnet.com for Gulf Coast Office Products. Georgia has unseated Alabama as the number 1 team in the country in the Associated Press poll. Bama still number 1 in the coaches poll. But Georgia with 53 first-place votes. Bama second with 9 first-place votes after their close call against University of Texas in Austin this past Saturday. Ohio State still at 3. Michigan 4. Clemson 5. Oklahoma 6. Southern Cal jumps up 3 spots to number 7 after they blasted Stanford on the farm. Oklahoma State up 3 spots to number 8. Kentucky, the real big riser. Kentucky jumped 11 spots to number 9, and then there's Arkansas up 6 spots to number 10. So Kentucky and Arkansas into the top 10 this week. It was a familiar spot for Arkansas a year ago when they beat Texas A&M, climbed all the way up to number 8, and they got absolutely skull-drugged by Georgia. Arkansas is going to have their opportunities with some big games ahead, but for now they're into the top 10. Other notables, BYU, after beating Baylor, they're up 9 spots to number 12. Miami, which goes to Texas A&M this week, they're ranked 13th. Tennessee, up 9 spots to number 15 after their road win against Pitt. Also, RIP to Desmond Howard's Final Four. Desmond's Final Four was Texas A&M, who lost, Pitt, who lost, Baylor, who lost, and Michigan, who's 2-0, but still doesn't have a quarterback. Stay hot, Des. All right, it's after further review. Well, I got a quick break. Coming up in about 15 minutes, we'll circle back to what Brian Kelly had to say at his Monday press conference today. He did talk about potential changes, more changes potentially on the offensive line and at linebacker. So we're going to get to that here in about 15 minutes from right now. When we come back, though, one of our favorites here on AFR is getting a massive opportunity. We'll talk about it next. Stick around. It's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Also, the home of Eagle 98.1 Game Day all throughout the year. Rouses.com or download the Rouses app. You know the drill. Download the Rouses app, select your groceries, and your personal shopper will take care of the rest. Go select all your items for you and then bring it out to you and your vehicle when you pull up. Rouses makes it convenient for game day. You know you could have used some convenience this past game day, especially around Tiger Stadium. Campus was a madhouse. Of course, the Rouses on Burbank. If you needed any tailgate supplies, just pull right into that Rouses or punch up the Rouses app, select your items, your personal shopper. We'll take care of the rest. It's Rouses. If you always need a hot lunch or dinner for the whole family, Rouses has that for you as well. Check them out at any of the Rouses locations all around the greater Baton Rouge area, really all around the state of Louisiana. That's Rouses. The official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Learn more about curbside and delivery options, Rouses.com. Rouses, this feels like home.
Go back to school in style with the new our pre-owned vehicle from Corval Toyota in Opelousas. It's an easy process, and vehicles are getting to our lot weekly. Make the decision now or reserve your new Toyota today. Come on down to Corval Toyota in Opelousas. That's Happy Town, USA.
As a community bank, B1 Bank invests in relationships with the people and businesses we proudly represent. Our B1 bankers are here to help simplify the complicated, understand your needs, and make managing your finances easier. At B1 Bank, we offer an array of solutions to help simplify your transaction needs. B1 Bank, one highly personal banking experience. Visit us online at b1bank.com for more information.
ITI's got all these programs. Once I started and learned everything about the school, it was worth it.
The challenges that ITI presented me with, it allowed me to build myself up.
All because of ITI, I actually was able to get a job within 3 months before graduation in my field.
Get the hands-on training you need for the job you've always wanted. With so many companies hiring right now, it's the perfect time to come to ITI Technical College. Enroll today for a better life.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big V and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding. Call 288-8138 or visit reliefwindows.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Last week, we made all of our division winner picks, along with our AFC, NFC championship picks and Super Bowl picks. How are we feeling about it, fellas? Muse, Paulie, how are we feeling about our picks after week one?
I feel pretty good after week one.
Anyone
honestly,
that you're a little on the fence about?
Maybe the Colts. That division just kind of seems kind of awful, actually, after 1 week. Nobody won a game, and two teams played each other in the division.
Yes, that was a tie with the Texans and the Colts. By the way, it pays to listen to Magnolia Bluffs Football Sunday. I was listening to the Otter, him and a lot of his gambling experts. They went heavy on a lot of the home dogs. So played Houston, the Bears, the Lions, the Steelers, but they were on the road. There's other. Anyway, had a atrocious day on Saturday. Really good. No. I had an all-time atrocious day. Bottom of next hour, I'll tell you just how atrocious. I mean, I'll be very vulnerable. I will tell you just how bad my day was on Saturday. However bad your day was, I guarantee you mine was worse.
Okay. All right.
I mean, I guarantee you. There's only one way it could have been worse than it was. Thankfully, it wasn't. So anyway, Paulie, how do you feel about your pick so far?
Feeling pretty good.
Okay. Who was your Super Bowl pick? Remind me. I have it, so you can't lie.
Mine was Buffalo.
Buffalo and who?
I believe Green Bay.
Oh, Paulie. Yeah. Here we go. Paulie had, here it is. All right. Paulie had Buffalo, Green Bay with Buffalo winning it. Muse had Buffalo, Green Bay with Green Bay winning it. And I had Kansas City, Green Bay with Green Bay winning it. I feel pretty good about KC. KC, no Tyreek Hill, no problem. How about my guy, Clyde Edwards-Helaire? A couple of touchdowns.
Really
the one I feel a little nervous about is Dallas. Watched last night. Dak basically had the Drew Brees thing. Remember when Drew Brees smashed his thumb on Aaron Donald's helmet?
Yeah.
Dak smashed his thumb on I can't remember who the defender was from the Bucs on his hand. So Dak having surgery to repair and stabilize his thumb, performed by Dr. Thomas Diliberti at the Texas Hand and Arm Center. Following surgery, a definitive timetable will be available, although it is expected to be 6 to 8 weeks. That's the report. Now, if you're me and you pick Dallas to win that division because you are not a believer in Jalen Hurts or the Giants or the Commanders, and then you look up and you see all of those teams had pretty good days, you'd be feeling not great if you were me. Until you realize what that means. Muse, you know what this means, don't you? Did you say I tweeted you, so I know you know what it means.
Yeah, I know what it means.
Fear not, Cowboy fans. Cooper Rush is on the way. That's right.
They're going to trade for Jimmy G. Stop
My good friend Cooper Rush steps into the starting role.
Your good friend who you've never met literally one time. Not even one time.
Long time fan, long time friend. All the way back to the days at Lansing Catholic. In Central Michigan as well. Big fan. Did you remember 2010 and 2011, Muse, what my guy Coop did?
No, because and neither did you because you never met him.
How dare you say that? His beautiful wife, Lauren. That's stunning, Muse. That you could forget that. That you could possibly doubt that. Tell you what.
I have to doubt it. It's just not even true. I can read a
it's
bio too, Matt. I can do that too.
Do you know they have a daughter?
No.
Her name's Ayla.
Ayla.
And she's adorable.
How old is Ayla, Matt?
Ayla is 3.
I don't know if that's correct at all.
Ayla's 3.
Neither do you.
Yes, I do.
Send a gift in the mail. Send it to Dallas.
Of course.
Yeah.
Loves little Snow White dress, princess dresses. Tell you. Coop, my guy. Second team All-MAC back in 2015. I personally celebrated. I bought a Central Michigan shirt back when Coop and Central Michigan had that great season. Third team All-MAC in 2016. He got robbed, by the way.
Yeah, third team got robbed being on third team.
Yeah. Cowboys are in good hands with my guy Coop.
AFR.
Don't you doubt it, Muse. Might drive my South Point Volkswagen over to Arlington to check out my guy Coop this weekend. Need to see what time they play. But you know what? If I drive my South Point Volkswagen, my Atlas over to Dallas, over to Arlington to check out Coop, I'm going to get great gas mileage. Get that with all the Volkswagen models. Even the electric models as well. You can check out right now. The ID4. Go to southpointvw.com. southpointvw.com. You can reserve your ID4 right now at South Point Volkswagen. Airline just north of Highland. They are Louisiana's largest volume Volkswagen dealer. So whether you are looking for a new or certified pre-owned vehicle, South Point has a great selection. Remember, because they move so much new inventory, people trade in their old vehicles, which means they have all different makes and models of pre-owned vehicles as well. Trucks, SUVs. Check them out at southpointvw.com. You can search the entire inventory at the website. If it's Tiguan, Atlas, or Crossport, you can find it all at South Point Volkswagen. southpointvw.com.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
It's no secret, the best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
There's nothing better than tailgating, but it can be a lot of work. So why do it yourself when you don't have to? Let Revelry Sports and Entertainment set up your luxury tailgate on campus. Order what you want and just show up to party. Book your tailgate today at revelryteam.com. Revelry Sports, the official tailgate partner of LSU Athletics.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. After just one game, the Cowboys left with a huge void. Quarterback Dak Prescott set for surgery today on his injured right thumb, expected to miss 6 to 8 weeks. Cooper Rush starts during Dak's absence, and Dallas will pay for its failure to bring in a backup QB this offseason, believes our Keyshawn Johnson.
Quarterbacks rarely play the entire season. That's why I always say, Max, backup quarterbacks at a premium. If you can get you one, you go and pay for that guy. That's what you do. Now you're looking at the Dallas Cowboys 6 to 8 weeks possibly with Dak Prescott. This is where we are with the Dallas Cowboys. Another dud season for them.
Keyshawn of Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max. More on this story on the 6 Eastern Sports Center on ESPN2. ESPN's Adam Schefter reporting Steelers Defensive Player of the Year TJ Watt will get second and third medical opinions about his torn pec tomorrow. If he needs surgery, his season's likely over. If he doesn't, he could possibly return in 6 weeks. Buccaneers coach Todd Bowles says receiver Chris Godwin's hamstring injury not as serious as the team thought it was, and his availability will be determined how his treatment goes.
Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max.
There is a quarterback out there and would keep the Cowboys front page the whole time Dak is out, and his name is Colin Kaepernick.
The guys will be back Tuesday morning at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN2.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge Studios.
That's right.
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us, AFR. Presented by Relief Windows. I'm Matt.
I am sweating.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Musso. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there, make it a good one. Thanks for being here. If you're watching on the Watch 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel, thank you for being here. Please take a quick second, smash that like button. We do appreciate it. You can always drop your comments in the Bayou Forward YouTube chat or text the show in the 225 at 396-4400, 396-4400. Many thanks to everybody who hung out on Saturday night, Whiskey and Wine with me and T-Bob, and, of course, Eagle 98.1 Game Day. All of pregame, postgame, Whiskey and Wine, it's all streamed on the Watch 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel. So if you're there and you haven't yet, please subscribe, hit the bell. You'll be notified when we go live, and we appreciate you for being there with us. In about 12 minutes, we'll get back to two moments in the Saints game that I want to discuss. One was the 2-point conversion call when they gave the ball to Mark Ingram, and two was what happened with the clock at the end of the game with Jameis and the intentional grounding. We'll get to that, Dennis Allen's explanation, all that stuff, and some thoughts on it in about 12 minutes. Brian Kelly met with the media on Monday to recap Southern and really turn the page to Mississippi State. Now, there's a few things personnel-wise that are notable. Number one is John Emery, of course, who, after serving a 2-game suspension after missing all of last year as well, is preparing to return for LSU this week. Here's what Brian Kelly had to say about having John Emery back.
We're excited about getting John back, certainly, and I'm excited for him. You know, it's been a long run for John in terms of getting a chance to get out and play for LSU. He's worked hard to get back into this position, and now he gets an opportunity. Now, let's be careful now. He's been off for a while. So, you know, to put a lot of expectations on him in the first game, we certainly can't do that. You know, we've got other backs that have done really well, but he will be part of the mix, and make no mistake about it. We've seen his capabilities in camp. We've kept him active within our rotation, so he's ready to play, and we did that with, you know, obviously our mind eyes toward the SEC competition coming up. So we're excited to get him back.
LSU ran for 230 yards against Southern on 36 carries. It's over 6 yards an attempt. But there's a little bit of an asterisk there. Of course, you had an 18-yard scramble by Jaden Daniels. You had the 42-yard end around by Kayshon Boutte. Your running backs, Armani Goodwin had 12 carries for 85 yards. That included a 38-yarder. And Noah Kane had 10 for 51, including his long was 11 yards. So those guys got going a little bit against Southern, but still, against Mississippi State, you know you're going to have to control the clock. And a competent running game is going to be a huge part of that. And having John Emery back certainly helps. I'm going to come back to that with the offensive line in just a second. But Brian Kelly was also asked about B.J. Ojulari, who did not dress against Southern.
Is B.J. Ojulari going to be available this week?
We expect him to be available based upon my conversations with our doctors yesterday.
That's fantastic news. Look, Ojulari got injured early in the game against Florida State. He did return and played the rest of the game. It was just a very obvious spot where you could hold him out against Southern, still win 65-17, and get him ready for the start of conference play. And if it's a thing we've seen where they got to manage it all throughout the year, we've seen this before. I hate to say this, but like in 2016, we saw this with Leonard, where Leonard had an ankle sprain in camp. He gave it a go against Wisconsin. They held him out in the lower non-conference games. He tried to go when he could. It was just a on-again, off-again thing. You hope that doesn't happen, and you hope it doesn't linger for BJ throughout the year. But you have these opportunities to hold him. You play him against State, then maybe you hold him out against New Mexico if he needs it. We'll see, and you cross that bridge. But the good news is it looks like they'll have him, and they were able to also get other guys experience this past weekend. As far as defending this Mississippi State offense, this is the last 2 years we have seen two pretty polar opposite results against Mississippi State. Of course, in 2020, KJ Costello came in, set an SEC record, threw for over 600 yards in Baton Rouge. It was horrible. It was embarrassing. It was humiliating. It was all of those things. Bo Pelini was dreadful. They ran man the whole game. They never got off of it, and Mississippi State just completely abused LSU as a result. A year ago, LSU won the game 28-25, and Will Rogers threw for 371, but it's one of those things where you have to not focus as much on the passing yardage because you just understand that's how they go about their offense. They threw for 371, ran for 115. LSU was outgained by 150 yards in the ball game, but still managed to win 28-25 in Starkville. So you almost can see that you're going to give up yards, and you know you're going to give up yards, but tackling is so important. And Brian Kelly, a big part of the conversation with him on Monday was preparing for this offense and familiarity and how to defend it and all that stuff. And I did ask him about, his relationship with Mike Leach. And one of the interesting things he said is that, while he's never coached against him, just give a listen to how he described their relationship.
I've known him for quite some time. Obviously, the tree that he's in have many, many acquaintances. I know him since the days that I was at Grand Valley State and he was at Iowa Wesleyan. We shared a lot of common acquaintances in the business itself. So we've gotten a chance to know quite a bit about the offensive structures. And look, there's a lot of concepts that he's run that I was running about 25 years ago as well. So we have obviously run into each other many times along our careers.
That was fascinating because I asked that question and I spent a lot of time looking to see if they ever crossed paths because I was curious if Brian Kelly has ever faced Leach or the air raid before, and he hadn't as a head coach. But he said, look, they're running concepts that he was running back at Iowa Wesleyan 25 years ago. So there's a degree of comfort going into this game knowing Brian Kelly's not going to see anything he's not familiar with. And then there was this was a great answer as well when he was asked about all the different curveballs that could come with facing this offense.
I think perceptually that people think that there's a lot of curveballs, but this is dive, QB, keep, or pitch. There's maybe 4, 5, 6 concepts that are run so well and so efficiently that if you get too cute on defense, that's where you get exposed. Try to do one thing to take it away. If you play too much man, if you play too much three-man rush, if you try to be one-dimensional defensively, that's where you get in trouble. So this is really about trying to change up your looks, try to make it so they don't see the same thing every time, but they're going to run what they run. And they just run it better than you can defend it in 3 days of preparation. And again, I go back to that. I know you're going to get sick of the triple option analogy, but it's so true in that this is the air raid concept. They run it better than you can defend it in 3 days. So you better tackle. You better have a really good plan on some of the things that they really like to do. You're going to get exposed.
When he said that, it gave me from an LSU perspective, a great degree of comfort because it's Brian Kelly faced the option every year at Notre Dame when they had to face Navy. So this isn't the option, obviously, but it's similar in the sense that you're facing something that isn't complex. There's only a few concepts. They just run it so effectively that in 3 days that you have to prepare for it, you're not going to be good enough to stop it at the level that they're efficient at running it. So that makes a lot of sense with the way he describes it. But it's also not something that's going to be new for him. I guess that's kind of the reality when you've been a coach for 32 years as a head coach and you've been all over the place. But did you hear him say, look, I mean, you can't get stuck doing one thing like playing too much man. Hello, Bo Pelini. And that's what happened in 2020. LSU played man the whole game. They never switched. And Mike Leach even said, I can't believe they kept throwing man. We just kept throwing over the top of them. I mean, they never switched. And it was embarrassing. But the other part is you got to tackle. And it sounds so elementary, but it's so true. In that offense, a 5-yard pass is the same in another offense as a 5-yard run. It's just how they move the football. So the key is you just can't let them break free and let a 5-yard pass become a 15-yard pass. You got to tackle, and that's something that LSU hasn't been great at so far through 2 games. But in my opinion, one guy who undeniably makes them better in that aspect, and specifically against this opponent, is Micah Baskerville. Brian Kelly did confirm that Baskerville, after the game on Saturday, said that he was going to be out initially for the first 2 weeks, but they appealed and found out Thursday before Florida State that he was actually good to go and to play. That explains why Baskerville was down the depth chart through much of camp. But today, Brian Kelly made no bones about it. They need Micah Baskerville on the field.
He's got a unique skill set. He is really good in pass coverage. He's really smart. That doesn't mean he can't stop the run. He's not built to be a big-time plugger, but he'll stick his nose in there. He's not afraid. We saw that. His block punt was like teach tape. I mean, it was awesome. I mean, he bent, put the low hand out, took the ball off the foot of the punter. Some younger players would have run into the punter in that situation. So he's a smart, savvy football player and makes us better when he's on the field.
Smart, savvy football player makes us better when he's on the field. Micah Baskerville has to start. I'm going to say this bluntly. I don't know who you take off the field. I don't know if you take Mike Jones or Greg Penn off the field. I don't really care. I'll let the coaches make that determination. I think Greg Penn has been really good. I think Mike Jones has struggled early. I'd have Baskerville on the field along with Penn. The other one, they can do what you will on the inside. Baskerville's got to be on the field. A year ago in this game against Mississippi State, Damone Clark had 15 tackles. Damone Clark had 15 tackles against everybody. Baskerville had 11. He was second on the team with 11. He's played this offense. He knows this offense. He's had success defensively against this team. He's got that skill set that he's physical enough of a player to come stick his nose in and make plays between the tackles, but he's also athletic enough to turn and run with a tight end or a running back and cover him effectively. We saw the pick six on Saturday. He always has a way of being around the football. That's just been Micah Baskerville his entire time in Baton Rouge. And for me, Baskerville's got to be a starter. He's got to play 80% of your defensive snaps against Mississippi State for LSU to really have a chance to limit that team, because that's where you can absolutely be made vulnerable. The other change that they made on Saturday that Brian Kelly talked about was moving Greg Brooks from nickel to safety and Jay Ward down to the nickel spot, which seemed to solidify. Do you have that one? Can you play? Thank you. Please go ahead.
I think the corners have held up pretty well. Their play has been consistent. It's been on body. They've played the ball well in the air. I thought our tackling got better. Greg Brooks playing back at the safety position has enhanced our communication to the level that we felt really good about it. Putting Ward down, in a natural nickel position fits his game as well. So I just think the pieces were moved in the right place after that evaluation of Florida State and where we felt like we needed to get better. So communication on the back end was much better. The corner play continues to be solid, but they'll be challenged at a higher level certainly this Saturday.
The thing that continues to stand out to me is just a consistent reminder that Brian Kelly and this coaching staff are still learning this team. Not only is it a new coaching staff, but there was so much roster turnover as well. They're still trying to figure out who's best where. I mean, you're going into week 3 and you still have potential shuffles on your offensive line. After 2 games, you made a switch with a nickel and a safety. You're still rotating linebackers. Like, they're still learning about this team, which is why game 1 to game 12, I think they're going to be exponentially better. How many wins does that result in? I don't know. It's going to depend on how you play on a certain day. But I think you're going to see exponential growth with this team week 1 to week 12 because it's so clear this staff is still learning its roster. And they'll have a big test, obviously, Saturday with Mississippi State coming in. Okay, let me knock out a quick break. When we come back, we're brought to you by Relief Windows. When we come back, the Saints escape. 2 plays in particular that I want to talk about. The second 2-point conversion and the clock it situation at the end of the game that resulted in the intentional grounding. We'll get to that next. You'll hear what Dennis Allen had to say. It's AFR.
AFR.
We're brought to you by the Baton Rouge General Hospital, brgeneral.org, brgeneral.org for the Baton Rouge General Hospital. Part of the Mayo Clinic Care Network, expanding healthcare with healthcare expertise throughout the Baton Rouge area. You can go to the website at brgeneral.org. You can hit the Learn More tab right there and learn more about the Mayo Clinic Care Network. This essentially allows your physician here in Baton Rouge, at the Baton Rouge General, to have clinical collaboration with the experts at the Mayo Clinic, one of the foremost medical centers in the world. It's the Baton Rouge General Hospital, part of the Mayo Clinic Care Network. And, of course, here at the General, all of the different campuses provide so much great expertise. If it's the Regional Burn Center at the Mid-City location, if it's the Ascension Neighborhood Hospital, which has emergency care in Ascension Parish now, if it's the Pennington Cancer Center at the Bluebonnet campus, or, of course, the Baton Rouge General Express Care locations, they're here to serve. It's the Baton Rouge General Hospital, brgeneral.org.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Bayou Ford has $15,000 off MSRP on our new 2021 Ford F-150. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million-mile powertrain warranty and free delivery. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
I'm Jay Ducote. I grew up learning how to cook at LSU tailgate parties and right in my own backyard. And I created JD's Louisiana products to bring that Louisiana flavor to you at home for your backyard cookout. JD's Louisiana barbecue sauce, Louisiana molasses mustard, spicy and sweet barbecue rub, and more are available at your local supermarkets or by logging on to jducote.com/shop. Put in promo code CST for 25% off at checkout.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you were born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
Light beer shouldn't taste like water. Miller Lite has more taste.
If you see the homies with the guap, with the knots, in the rows, that's how I know you really broke, with no goals, and it shows. The money blue.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding. Call 288-8138 or visit reliefwindows.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
No timeouts. Trailing by 2. Winston with loads of time, fires downfield, and Landry makes a spectacular catch right at the 40.
Just big time players make big time plays in big time situations. Just a great matchup that we like. They played a 2-man under coverage, and Jarvis got on top of the defender and went up there and made a heck of a catch.
Jarvis with one of the biggest plays in the game. Jameis with the stones to throw it into double coverage, knowing his receiver would go get it, and then to describe it afterwards. It was massive. That one of the plays that obviously allowed the Saints to get into field goal range to kick what would be the game-winning field goal by Will Lutz, and the Saints moved to 1-0 after they stunned Atlanta, coming back from 16 down late in the fourth quarter. There were two plays that have drawn a lot of conversation in particular. One was the two-point conversion that failed, and the other was the intentional grounding by Jameis on the final drive. We'll take them kind of chronologically. And I don't like to do I don't like doing the Monday morning quarterback thing where you're second guessing a coach with the benefit of hindsight. But in that moment, I have no problem if you want to run single wing. I do have a problem running it with Mark Ingram. I don't hate the idea of giving yourself essentially an extra body by running single wing. I would prefer it with Taysom Hill, who has been in that role, and also, having played quarterback, could throw the ball if you wanted to have a pass option somewhere. I mean, the definition of an RPO is a run with a pass option. RPO, run pass option. It's not like a slash. It's a run with a pass option. So, but in that moment, when you look at what the Saints did to get to that spot, this isn't anything breaking. I mean, I'm not going to wow you with this analysis, but the Saints are down, 26-10. They get the ball, 26 yards to Juwan Johnson, 15 yards to Kamara, 31 yards deep left to Landry, and then the 3-yard touchdown to Michael Thomas in the corner of the end zone. And then the 2-point conversion was to Chris Olave on a beautifully designed play, a great route, a great throw, perfect execution there. And now you're within 8. You force the punt. Deep right to Chris Olave for 20 yards. Middle to Landry for 7 yards. Incomplete to Juwan Johnson. Deep left to Michael Thomas for 21 yards. The screen to Alvin Kamara where they lost 10. You got it all back with Michael Thomas over the middle for 20 yards. And then the touchdown. Then the pass to Michael Thomas, the penalty on Atlanta for offsides, which was the no play. Jarvis, which you just heard, deep left. And then the touchdown pass to Michael Thomas. It was all passes. And it didn't matter if you were throwing to Michael Thomas or Jarvis Landry or Chris Olave or Juwan Johnson or Alvin Kamara. everything you did was working, throwing the football. They couldn't guard your receivers. So now you have an opportunity for one play to tie the game, and you run a direct snap to Mark Ingram, which you haven't run all game. I mean, that's one of those things where I look and I scratch my head. Again, Taysom Hill, and Mark Ingram ran effectively in the ballgame, to be clear. I know a lot of this feels like second-guessing Monday morning quarterbacks. You're only criticizing because it didn't work. No, I'm criticizing because I hate the personnel and the play call in that moment. You have got to give yourself an option to throw the football. It's got to be a run-pass option in that situation. So I'm okay if you want to take Jameis off the field, but in that instance, it's why you have Taysom Hill. Taysom was so good running the ball. I mean, he scored your first touchdown essentially with that same look. And you had one too many blockers. You had a hat on a hat. And so in that moment, I just thought it was a dreadful play call, and I'm very glad. The reason that people aren't like burning the thing down today is because that play call didn't cost you the game. You got the stop, you got the ball back, you made the field goal, you won the game. That's why this isn't what we're only going to talk about all week, because had they lost this game, that would be the thing that we only talked about, was that play call. And because they won, we're not going to focus on it, and I understand that, but I thought it was not a banner day for Pete Carmichael. Late in the game, obviously, when the Saints went tempo and Jameis got in a groove and Atlanta was given a little bit of a cushion, the Saints got rolling. They were awesome, and that's how good that offense can be and what we all expected that it would look like when they were rolling. I hated that play call, and it's worth mentioning even after the win. The first play call on the two-point conversion was a beautiful design. It was reminiscent of the two-point conversion play that they ran to Lance Moore in the Super Bowl. Just a little bit of a deeper route to Olave, and it was beautifully executed by everybody. I hated that two-point conversion play, not just because it didn't work, but because of all the reasons I just mentioned. Now, the other thing that had a lot of people confused, obviously, was an endgame situation. And look, it's the NFL. You got to be better if you're a starting quarterback in the NFL, or if it's on Dennis Allen, I don't know. But you all know the scenario and how it all transpired. The Saints get the stop after Marcus Mariota fumbles on the 3rd and 1. The Falcons end up punting, and the Saints take over the ball with 48 seconds at their own 22. And they threw the deep ball to Jarvis for 40 yards, which that was the play call you just heard, the deep ball for 40 yards, which immediately got the Saints rolling. And Jameis hurries up to the ball and spikes it. The problem is that Jarvis had gone out of bounds, and so the clock was stopped. There was no need to spike the football because the clock had stopped because it was inside of 2 minutes. Jarvis was out of bounds, and so spiking the football there was intentional grounding. Here's what Dennis Allen said after the game on the grounding call.
You know, when Jarvis went up and caught the ball, I thought he was in bounds, and you can't intentionally ground the ball. You can't clock it when the clock stopped. And so, look, I put that again back on me. There were several things there late in the game that, you know, I felt like I got to do a better job. So it'll be stuff that we'll look at. It'll be stuff that we'll learn from, you know, and hopefully we'll be better when we're in that situation again.
I don't know specifically if it's on DA or if he's just taking the blame off of Jameis. I mean, clearly he's sitting there telling you he didn't realize Jarvis was out of bounds. I believe him, so the instruction might have been for Jameis to clock it in that situation. But someone among Dennis Allen, Pete Carmichael, Jameis Winston, anybody needs to be aware that the clock stopped. I mean, you won the game. So again, what we often say, winning mass deficiency. Sometimes you forget about the things that didn't go well because you won the game. But these are things that could have cost you on Sunday and ultimately didn't. But you've got to get fixed. That is inexcusable for an NFL head coach not to know that the clock was stopped, for an NFL starting quarterback to not know the clock was stopped. And then I would suggest also, and I don't know this definitively, I'd be curious in a candid moment if Jameis would ever say it, but I don't like spiking the ball. Like, I don't think Jameis remembered that it was 3rd down after the pass over the middle to Juwan. So spikes the ball, loss of 10 on the intentional grounding, and loss of down. So now it's 2nd and 20, and they throw the ball for 17 yards over the middle to Juwan Johnson. So you regain a lot of that yardage. Now the clock is running at this point, but you got 38 seconds. It's 3rd down. If you clock it, now you have to attempt a 51-yard field goal. It's 3rd down. You can run a play. You can't take a sack, but that's why you have those situations repped so many times. So you know you have a quick out. something to get to the sticks, like anything, just throw it into the 18th row. Just don't take a sack, and then you're in the same situation. You can line up for the field goal, or maybe you get the first down, and your receiver gets out of bounds, or you throw it over the middle, you get the first down, you clock it, and then you can maybe try a deep shot or an out route or something. You have options. That situation was mismanaged, and you all know it. I mean, I'm not telling you something you don't know, but it's something you got to say out loud to recognize that can't happen, because it almost cost you an opportunity to win that game yesterday. Thankfully, it didn't, but those are things that have to get better. Listen, I'm not saying that it's never happened at this level. The greatest quarterback in the history of the game, the greatest player in the history of the game, became a meme last year when Tom Brady didn't realize that it was fourth down, and so he's sitting there holding up the four fingers. Like, Tom Brady became a meme because he lost track of downs. So, yes, there are absolutely times where that happens, and we can all laugh at it. It happened to Brady. I think it happened to Jameis yesterday against Atlanta. So, they won the game. No harm, no foul. Be better next time. All right, it's after further review. We're glad you're with us. We're brought to you by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Bluebonnet, Baton Rouge, Ambassador, Caffrey, and Lafayette. Online at theantiagingclinics.com. That's theantiagingclinics.com. You know where to find them. All this month, by the way, great back-to-school specials. If you're a teacher, they got great deals on filler and Botox. So go check them out at the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. And I tell you often about HRT. If you want to feel like your younger self, you can with hormone replacement therapy. A simple blood test can let you know if you're a candidate. And also, when you do those blood labs, sometimes they can tell, like they'll check all of your organ function and everything, let you know if you have other issues going on. It's just a good idea to get your blood labs drawn annually anyway. So the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana can help. Bluebonnet in Baton Rouge, Ambassador, Caffrey, and Lafayette. And online at theantiagingclinics.com. That's theantiagingclinics.com. All right, about 15 minutes, Muse will have Tigers in the Pros. Usually Cole Cubelic's with us in hour number 2 here during football season. Cole had a conflict today, so he's going to join us in hour 3. So about 45 minutes from right now, we'll talk to Cole Cubelic, who was in Tiger Stadium Saturday for LSU Southern, and we'll get his feelings on everything that transpired across the Southeastern Conference this past weekend. When we come back, we'll go through some takeaways from college football's second weekend and what was a upset-filled weekend of college football. That's next on AFR.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by Pluckers. It is Monday. It is the debut of Monday Night Football with your new analysts, Joe Buck and Troy Aikman. You need a place to watch Monday Night Football. As we put a button on week number 1 of the NFL season, you can get by Pluckers. What a game tonight as well. Russell Wilson and his new boo, the Denver Broncos, go visit his old boo, the Seattle Seahawks, up in Seattle. Denver is a 6.5-point road favorite. Need a place to watch, get by Pluckers, because tonight and every Monday, all-you-can-eat wings. Pay one low price and eat as many wings as you want all night long. Award-winning jumbo chicken wings, 28 flavors of sauces to try, and you could try them all tonight or any Monday at Pluckers. Nicholson, just south of campus. Bluebonnet right in front of the Mall of Louisiana. Remember, on Sundays, they've got Sunday tickets, so you can watch every game and follow your fantasy squad or whatever every Sunday. Make it your spot at Pluckers. Dine in, carry out, or delivery. Pluckers, if you don't like our wings. We'll give you the bird.
They said I was small, weak, said my heart wasn't strong enough. But I showed them what heart looked like, again and again and again. Mom got me the right care, the right doctors with Blue Cross coverage. Don't let people tell you who you are. Show them the right card, the right care.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $12,000 off MSRP on all new 2022 Ram Black Widow trucks in stock. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty and free delivery. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou is going to do right by you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big D and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Le posso offrire un caffè? Andiamo insieme da me, non c'è.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding. Call 288-8138 or visit reliefwindows.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
I got to you know, text the show 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. Chris Terrio said, Matt, have you looked at the play? Jarvis landed and was touched in bounds. Yes, I have looked at the play. As a matter of fact, I'm looking at it right now, and Jarvis did land and was touched in bounds. But you can also very clearly see the line judge running up, waving his hands over his head, signaling the play dead as Jarvis was out of bounds. So I don't care what you saw there, what we all saw there. What matters is what the guy in the striped shirt did, and that was blow the play dead and rule Jarvis out of bounds. And the clock was stopped. Go look at the broadcast. The clock is stopped at 39 seconds. I mean, that is and the head coach, the offensive coordinator, and the quarterback all were we're all unaware. And nobody overruled anyone to say, hey, don't spike the football. Like, that is a lack of situational awareness that almost cost you. So, yes, I understand the point. He was touched on the back on his way down and should have been down in bounds. That's not what they called. So you got to be aware of it. Okay. It's after further review. We're glad you're with us here. Something we're going to do each week here during the football season is we'll go over some college football takeaways. So, Muse, give me a little music here, if you would, to set the mood for the college football season. College football weekend, that was. Is this like exit music for Scott Frost because he got fired?
It could be. I mean, it could serve that purpose, sure.
Holy moly. How about Nebraska? How about Clay Helton, by the way? Maybe lost a bit in the Nebraska loss and Scott Frost being fired. Is Clay Helton's the coach at Georgia Southern who got that win. So, nice win by Clay Helton, who also mentioned during his press conference, he shouted out Southern Cal for the job Lincoln Riley's doing. I think I saw Ross Dellinger tweet this and mentioned that the AD and president at Southern Cal both texted him to congratulate him on the win, tell him how proud they were of him, which is a little odd. You don't normally see that in a firing, but pretty cool for all parties involved there, and good on Clay Helton who's a good coach, just got into an untenable situation there at Southern Cal and couldn't win enough. So Nebraska loses. Scott Frost is fired after starting the season 1-2. For me, the biggest takeaway here is that fit is a farce. For everyone who wants to tell you about Brian Kelly, I don't like this bet. Do we have anything else? Something maybe a little less dark. Okay. Something a little more. Just what else you have over there?
Oh, I'd have to pull this down to figure that out. But
yeah, pull it down. Figure it out. Yeah, pull that down. I'll talk about Scott Frost.
I can go back to Old Faithful here.
What you got? Yeah, what you got over there?
Well, just our fan favorite. Generic rock band.
Yeah, okay. Let's go with this. This is better. But the other one was just a little like heel in WWE coming into the ring.
Being fired.
Yeah,
like he doesn't have a
but
job
I'm talking about
anymore.
college football, and now I'm talking about fit being a farce.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Fit is a farce. Urban Meyer from Ohio won at Utah and Florida. Mike Leach has won in Lubbock, Texas, Pullman, Washington, and Starkville, Mississippi. The only place he fits is the moon. Like, where is he from? Don't tell me about fit. There was no better fit ever than Scott Frost at Nebraska. The most self-aware thing about this whole situation is Trev Alberts, who is a former Nebraska player, who's now the AD, said, we need to stop focusing on what we were and stop talking about the championships we've won in the past, because that ain't what we are, and we got to start winning some way. So good on Trev Alberts. Maybe they get that thing turned around. But there is no sitting Power 5 coach that will take that job. If you Power 5, now they're G5 coaches that want that opportunity, but there was no sitting Power 5 coach that would take that Nebraska job. No way. Mickey Joseph is the interim. I wish him luck. Muse, you got one?
Oh, yeah. I mean, you kind of touched on it a little earlier. A&M offense, square peg, round hole, man. And definition of insanity, do the same thing over and over again, expect different results. It's not going to work with Haynes King. And if you continue to trot him out there, you're going to continue to get the same result.
So are you saying it's the offense or the quarterback?
I think it's a little bit of both. I think it is a little bit of Jimbo's offense, which has not been good down his run at Florida State. It hasn't been good since he's been at A&M. And Haynes King is not the guy to solve that. So I think it's a little bit of both.
Offense works if it's executed correctly. This is the Mac Brown conundrum. When Mac Brown was churning at Texas, he had Vince Young, he had Major Applewhite, he had Chris Sims, he had Vince Young, he had Colt McCoy. This decade-long run of great quarterback play, and then he missed guys from Texas that did not go to Texas. Andrew Luck, RG3, Johnny Manziel. In the meantime, they had Garrett Gilbert and what the long list of blah.
Shane Buechele. Remember that guy?
I do. List them all. I don't know if Buechele played for Mac, though.
No, he was in that line of Texas quarterbacks.
But I mean, what got Mac fired was the fact that he kept missing on quarterbacks. Jimbo had Jameis and E.J. Manuel and Christian Ponder, dudes who became first-round picks, even Jamarcus when he was at LSU. Look at what he's had. Like,
I guess I look at it because
it's the lack of evaluation on the front end because, bro, Haynes King ain't it. And Max Johnson, I'll make this prediction. Max Johnson's going to start against Miami, and A&M's going to beat Miami this week.
You have to do something different.
Max Johnson's going to start, and A&M is going to beat Miami this week in College Station. I'll make that prediction right now at 4:42 on a Monday. This is my turn or yours? Oh, yeah, forgot about this.
Yeah, we forgot about it.
Forgot about it, yeah. Hey, we're working in training week.
Yeah,
right? We're working out. Kentucky and Arkansas both had very nice wins. The bigger story in Gainesville isn't Florida losing. It's Kentucky winning. 4 new offensive linemen, no Chris Rodriguez. They went down to Gainesville, and it looked like after that safety, Florida was getting ready to just kick it into overdrive and run away with it. Big intercept. The defensive end, reached his paw out and got that interception. Flipped the whole game. So Kentucky's into the top 10. Arkansas is into the top 10 after beating South Carolina. We saw Arkansas in the top 10 a year ago. They beat A&M, they beat Texas, and everyone's like, oh, Arkansas. They got up to number 8. They played Georgia and got absolutely pounded. So I want to know if either of those teams are for real. Both are into the top 10. That's my big question coming out of this weekend for those two. Kentucky, I'm buying because they've had a more sustained success or run of it. I don't know if I'm buying Arkansas yet. I think KJ Jefferson is obviously a good player, but you got at A&M, home against Bama, at Mississippi State, at BYU, at Auburn, all coming up in succession after you play Missouri State. So we're about to find out about Arkansas real soon. I like it.
I like that too.
Yeah, I like the swoosh.
Matt, I want to know if Stetson Bennett is a Heisman contender.
Of course he is.
And that's, to me, he was 80-1. You realize he was 80-1 to win the Heisman Trophy. Not right now. When the season started. And the guy has just done nothing but that's kind of the last thing to prove people wrong, right, is to win the Heisman Trophy. It's not normally a favorite. Stetson Bennett, Georgia's going to be there at the end.
Yeah.
That guy's going to be in New York, man. I've been really impressed with Stetson Bennett the first 2 weeks of the season.
You're right. Stats will be there. Those team results will be there. Unless if there's someone who has a transcendent season who just steps up and steals it, he may be the default winner. I hate to say it this way, but you know who that is? That's Troy Smith. Remember Troy Smith from Ohio State in 06? Had a great year statistically on a great football team, and there just wasn't anybody else that just was transcendent that year. So he won it. Sometimes that happens, and Stetson Bennett would be the default because they're not going to give it to Bryce Young again. Yeah. Just voters aren't going to vote for Bryce Young again. So did you have any more?
Yeah.
Okay, those are mine. No, those are mine. Oh, okay. I had Frost Fired. I want to talk about the upsets. Oh, we didn't talk about Alabama yet and their close call. And we have not yet talked about Notre Dame's loss. Let me do that after the break. Muse will have Tigers in the pros, and I'll talk about those two games as well when we come back to Put a Button here on hour number 2 of AFR.
AFR.
Buying or selling a home, call Darren James. Get your home sold. As a matter of fact, I want to be very, very direct. If you are selling your home and looking to buy as well, you're simultaneously selling your current home and looking to buy a new home, you have got to call Darren James. Darren has introduced his new buy one, sell one for free program. If you hire Darren James to represent you on the buy side, on your purchase side, he will sell your home for free. 335-7666, 335-7666. If you are listing your home for sale by owner because you don't want to pay a realtor commission, you must call Darren. I'm giving you a cell. 335-7666, 335-7666, or agent225.com. Buying, selling, commercial or residential, call Darren James. Get your home sold.
Think real estate, think Darren James.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Bayou Ford has $15,000 off MSRP on our new 2021 Ford F-150. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty and free delivery. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
I'm Jay Ducote.
I grew up learning how to cook at LSU tailgate parties and right in my own backyard. And I created JD's Louisiana products to bring that Louisiana flavor to you at home for your backyard cookout. JD's Louisiana barbecue sauce, Louisiana molasses mustard, spicy and sweet barbecue rub, and more are available at your local supermarkets or by logging on to jdacody.com/shop. Put in promo code CST for 25% off at checkout.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding. Call 288-8138 or visit reliefwindows.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Wrapping up hour number 2, Cole Cubelic in 25 minutes from right now to talk the weekend that was in the Southeastern Conference. Right now, Musso has Tigers in the pros.
Tigers in the pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now. Presented by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, where Baton Rouge gets engaged.
What a day for NFL LSU yesterday. My goodness. We're going to try to get through all of it. Let's start with the New Orleans Saints, guys. Let's start with Jarvis. Landry, 7 receptions off of 9 targets for a cool 114 yards with a long of 40. The big catch, of course, on the final drive that led to the game-winning field goal. Tyrann Mathieu in the secondary was the Saints' 3rd leading tackler, 7 total tackles, 5 of them solo, and he recovered a fumble because, of course, he did, and the Honey Badger takes what he wants. The Cincinnati Bengals, Joe Burrow, rough day with the 4 picks, but still 338 yards and 2 touchdowns, helping to lead the Bengals back and force overtime. 6 carries for 47 yards for Joey B as well. His main target, no surprise, Jamar Chase. 10 receptions, 129, and a touchdown. Burrow also fumbled the ball twice and lost one of them. For the Detroit Lions, DJ Chark, 4 receptions off of 8 targets, 52 yards, and a touchdown. Lions kept it close with the Eagles. Patrick Queen and the Ravens Queen, 8 tackles, 5 solo, half a sack, hit the quarterback another 3 times in that game. Grant Delpit for the Cleveland Browns, 3 total tackles, 2 of them solo, a pass deflection, and an interception. Not to be outdone, his teammate Cade York had 14 of the Browns' 26 points, 4 of 4 on field goals, including a 58-yarder for the win with a nice little draw on it as well.
Is that worth a 4th-round pick?
I think so. Did you see the Browns' Twitter? That's what they tweeted. That's why you draft a kicker in all caps.
ESPN Cleveland changed their profile to Cade York's picture.
That's it. Add Cade York to the list. The 2019 LSU. Oh, he was on that team? Cade York, now a member of that. Derek Stingley Jr.
ESPN Cleveland, they changed it to ESPN Cade York. Look.
That's awesome.
They changed it to ESPN.
I love that. That's
wait, Cleveland?
I saw
Why,
a tweet.
Cleveland?
I saw a tweet that said his jersey was sold out after the game.
Should be.
It should be. Derek Stingley Jr. in his debut, 7 total tackles, 3 solo, and a pass breakup. Justin Jefferson, my goodness, yesterday.
Take a breath, bro. It's going to take a minute.
9 receptions, 11 targets, 184 yards, 2 touchdowns, a long of 64, a couple gritties thrown in there. He's a freak. Like, as great as Jamar Chase has been, Justin Jefferson just continues to kind of still steal the spotlight.
Best receiver in the NFL today.
Yeah. Agreed.
You give me one, I'd take him over Adams. I'd take him over Jamar. I would because of his ability to play any of the receiver positions at an elite level.
Fantastic.
Him and Cooper Kupp.
You mentioned this earlier. Clyde yesterday, man. Great day for the Chiefs. Great day for Clyde. 7 carries, 42 yards, but it was really receiving. 3 receptions, 32 yards, and 2 touchdowns in that game.
Just get him healthy,
well.
man. Just had to get healthy.
Leonard Fournette, finally, this is where we end with football. Leonard Fournette, 21 carries, 127, a long of 17. Didn't find the end zone, but averaged 6 yards a pop. Caught the ball twice for 10 yards as well.
Still rocking his LSU shoulder pads, too.
Love it, man. I love it. And one baseball note to get to. Alex Bregman hit a grand slam yesterday. So we can't 4 RBI for Breggs just on one swing. We can't not mention that. He's been on fire since coming back from injury. Granny for Breggy yesterday. A Breggy bomb, if you will.
Breggy bomb.
How about that? That's Tigers in the Pros.
Presented by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, LMFJ.com. LMFJ.com. 2 locations in Baton Rouge, corporate in Bocage and in the Mall of Louisiana. Gentlemen, if you're looking for that diamond, look, I mean, we're not all buying diamonds every single week or month of our lives. So if it's in a once-in-a-lifetime or a rare occasion, of course, you want people with a great selection and great knowledge that are going to give you a fair price. That's Lee Michaels, LMFJ.com, LMFJ.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. All right, it is after further review. I'm down to 60 seconds. I do want to talk about the Bama's close call against Texas and Notre Dame's loss. Maybe I'll spend a little more time on Bama when we get to Cole in the next hour. So let me just give you a thought on Notre Dame. Sometimes it's a be careful what you wish for type situation. And I think that's where Notre Dame finds itself. I mean, you've heard me since Brian Kelly was hired tell you that Notre Dame's issues are Notre Dame's. And the fact that Brian Kelly won at the level he did, a level at which nobody has won there in 30 years, is massively impressive to Brian Kelly, but he had hit a ceiling. And Marcus Freeman is finding that out because he has a roster that is not a top 10 roster in the country. And he's not even close to a top coach in the country, which is why now you have an embarrassing loss to Marshall, and there's more to come, by the way. All right, we'll put a button here on hour number 2. SportsCenter coming right up.
AFR.
And many thanks to our friends over at Michelli Weighing and Measurement. They're one of our great sponsors on Whiskey and Wine all season long. Michelli.com, Michelli.com. 29 offices across 11 different states, sea to shining sea. So even if you're streaming us in Texas or California or Oregon or Florida, wherever you may be, Michelli will service those areas, and they are hiring, celebrating 75 years in business. Love telling you about Michelli because of all of the great services that they offer and the fact that they've grown the way they have over 75 years and maintain their local ownership. Installations, calibrations, repairs, preventative maintenance for all of your scales and measurement equipment. They can do on-site calibrations, or you can send your devices to them, or they can come pick up your devices from you to save you time. It's Michelli Weighing and Measurement. Learn more at Michelli.com to find out all they do. ISO 17025 accreditation is available. Michelli.com, Michelli.com.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI, or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
There's nothing better than tailgating, but it can be a lot of work. So why do it yourself when you don't have to? Let Revelry Sports and Entertainment set up your luxury tailgate on campus. Order what you want and just show up to party. Book your tailgate today at revelryteam.com. Revelry Sports, the official tailgate partner of LSU Athletics.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Cowboys dealing with some massive injury news. Quarterback Dak Prescott scheduled to have surgery today on his injured right thumb. Prescott hurt last night, expected to miss 6 to 8 weeks. Dallas will turn to Cooper Rush as its starter beginning next week against the Bengals. There is still hope for Dallas this season in the end because of its first half schedule, believes Hall of Famer Michael Irvin.
Y'all saw what Cincy looked like. You saw what Cincy looked like. But then after that, they got to run an NFC team. We can get these teams, Giants, Washington, the Rams, Philly, Detroit. And then they get that bye. If I can get Dak back at this bye, that's all I'm thinking about right now. How can I win 3 of these games?
Steelers Defensive Player of the Year, TJ Watt, will get second and third medical opinions about his torn pec tomorrow, according to ESPN's Adam Schefter. If he needs surgery, his season is likely over. If not, Watt could possibly return in 6 weeks. Russell Wilson makes his Broncos debut against his former team, the Seahawks, tonight on Monday Night Football. Coverage at 8 Eastern on ESPN TV with the Manning Cast on ESPN2 with Peyton and Eli.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. If you're a renter, make sure you're protected. Renter's insurance includes options that cover stolen property, personal injury, and living expenses if your place is damaged. Quote renter's insurance at progressive.com.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios.
That's right.
Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by Relief Windows. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Paul O'Neal.
They're chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
Musu. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. 5 o'clock quitting time. Glad you are driving home with us. Cole Cubelic in 15 minutes. Cole normally with us in hour 2 on Mondays. Had some obligations, so moved to hour 3. So lucky you if you're here driving home with us right now. Brian Kelly met with the media on Monday to recap Southern, look ahead to Mississippi State. If you missed it in the last hour, kind of a deep dive into what Brian Kelly had to say about how they plan to defend against Mike Leach's air raids. Really good stuff. If that from Brian Kelly today. We'll have it up on demand at 1045ESPN.com. However, get your podcast, just search After Further Review and the After Further Review LSU YouTube channel as well. He also talked about the quarterbacks. One thing, though, Brian Kelly, he led off his press conference with a troll job, which we'll get to in just a second, which was hilarious in a uncool dad joke kind of way, which we'll get to. But he did talk about his 2 quarterbacks. And that was my single biggest takeaway from the Southern game is there is no quarterback controversy anymore, if there ever really was one. Jaden Daniels was incredibly efficient, completed 10 of 11 passes, threw for 3 touchdowns, ran for another. Here is what Brian Kelly liked about the day Jaden Daniels had on Saturday.
Well, I think you start with efficiency with Daniels, his ability to keep 8 drives alive consecutively and turn them into touchdowns. I think that's a great place to start. So, there's still growth there, and he would tell you that if he was standing here. There's still growth and recognition, but he's so coachable. I think I mentioned this the last time we talked about him, is his demeanor when he comes to the sideline, extremely coachable, taking in information, talking to the box, talking to me on the sideline, where you can get him information and you can pick that up and move on to the next series. So I like that about him. Look, here's a guy with 3 years of starting experience, and you can sense and feel that when he comes to the sideline, that you can have that kind of dialogue. I think we've all seen his ability to throw it and run, and he was confronted with opportunities on Saturday where he could have taken off, for example, the touchdown to Besh, right, where he gets to the line of scrimmage and finds an open receiver and lets the ball go. If we can continue to see that, he becomes very difficult to contain.
Our friend Barrett Salif from CBS Sports earlier today tweeted, DYK, did you know? LSU quarterback Jaden Daniels leads the SEC in passer rating among qualifying quarterbacks with a 177.31 rating. Anthony Richardson's last, by the way. Not only does Daniels lead the SEC, he's top 5 in the country in passer rating. He's been incredibly efficient. The flip side of that is that Garrett Nussmeier showed the warts, the big concern, which is carelessness with the football. Brian Kelly talked about that.
You never want to have a moment where you turn the ball over. And obviously we had a conversation with that. He's got to take care of the football, and he knows that. I mean, that's not anything that's something that he feels good about. But he did some really good things, and we have to build off of that. And I think he is somebody that when you're in that number 2 position, I'm not here to make excuses for him. You press a little bit, right? You want to, you have another quarterback who's led 8 consecutive touchdown drives. You're trying to press. You want to get on the field, and he doesn't need to do that. We have great confidence in him. He just needs to let the game come to him.
That'll happen. I want to be very clear. I'm not like throwing dirt on Garrett Nussmeier. It's just the thing that has been part of the description when we talk about Garrett Nussmeier is the gunslinger mentality. He's careless with the football. He was that when we saw him in camp, and he was that when we saw him against Southern on Saturday with a couple interceptions. That could have been 4 interceptions. So there is no quarterback discussion, controversy, competition. It's over, and it's a net positive for LSU because knowing who your guy is a good thing. Like, Ole Miss has got to be very unsettling right now. Jackson Dart starts one game. Luke Altmaier starts the next. You go on a road game in Atlanta against Georgia Tech this week. You don't know which guy's going to start. You're 3 weeks into the season. That's unsettling. LSU settled. It may not be the guy you wanted at the beginning of the season. Don't matter. The best guy's playing, and that's settled. That's a good thing for LSU moving forward. All right, it's after further review. I'm going to get to Brian Kelly's troll job in just a second. Yesterday, 9/11, of course, just a landmark anniversary in this country for a lot of reasons that we know. Personally, September 11th is my LASIK anniversary. I had LASIK 4 years ago yesterday. And still to this day, 4 years after having my LASIK, I'm still seeing better than 2020. People often say LASIK's the best money they ever spent, best decision they ever made. And I heard people say that forever, and now I've experienced it myself. It's the best money you can spend. It's the best decision you can make. To be able to see 2020 without contacts or glasses, to be able to just wake up in the morning and see is an incredible gift. And because of obviously the advances in ophthalmology and people like Dr. Blake Williamson, that's a reality for thousands of people every single year in our community. It's the Williamson Eye Center. For that free consultation, call 924-2020, 924-2020, or WilliamsonEYE.com. Cole Cubelic in about 7 minutes. So Brian Kelly today led his press conference by trolling his haters, and I loved it. If you didn't see it or hear it, so a week ago, of course, there was the interaction with Leah Van that went viral, and no matter how much people like me or anyone else who covers the team tried to downplay it to say it was just a joke, it was obvious that it was a joke between the two people. They were joking. That's what Brian Kelly does. He's literally joked in every press conference that he has cracked some kind of joke in every press conference that he's been in, that we've been in with him since he was hired. But people took a small snippet, blew it way out of proportion, and then there was the whole thing with the $0 and $10. Well, in his post-game press conference, a member of his staff was not the on-field staff, member of his support staff was late into the press conference, and I've been told Brian Kelly is clockwork. I mean, everything is timed out clockwork from the end of the game to when the post-game interview is, exactly when he's going to do it, and then everyone has to be out of the building. It's boom, boom, boom. He is very, very regimented with that. Les Miles, back in the day, Les would just go hang out in the coach's locker room. We just kick back and hang. Sometimes we'd be sitting in the ready room. That's where the coach does the post-game press conference. We'd be sitting in there 15, 20, 30, just waiting on Les. Well, whenever he wanted to. And then he'd have a cop car take him home. I mean, it's just, just not saying aloof, but just different. So Brian Kelly made the joke in the post-game about how, staff members, it's $20 into the kitty. Well, today, you probably heard this happen.
There's my $10. So let's get that out of the way right away. I pay my debts.
Okay.
I'll take a money order.
Hang on. I'll come back to it. Okay. I want to set context. So the Brian Kelly press conference every week is at noon. I'm telling you all this so you have the context so you can understand why this is very obviously a joke, okay? The press conference is at noon. Media, we get a press conference announcement, a release from Michael Bonnet and Sports Information every week for noon. The noon press conference. And then it's regimented. Like we know the show that Chris and Gordy does start at 11:40, and then Brian Kelly starts at noon. That's all very structured. For a man who I just told you is very structured in everything he does, even in his post-game when everyone has to be out of the stadium. He's very structured, okay? A week ago, Brian Kelly was early. He started at 11:53. Some people walked in late, but they were actually early. They were on time or early, but late because he started early. Anyway, I'm telling you, the release is, I've been going to these press conferences since 2007, all right? And they start at noon. Now, Les, back in the day, they would do the lunch with Les, and he would start at 12:30. They'd do the show starting at noon, and then Les would start at 12:30, but whatever. It's irrelevant. My point is, they start at noon. The release moved to 11:55. Many of us I thought, they're just bumping that up 5 minutes just to make sure everybody has a little bit of lag to make sure they're not walking in case he's early. That was my impression of what happened. But Brian Kelly, when they set out that release, and the dude who's always on time was not there at 11:55, he walked in at 12 o'clock sharp. He walked in at 12 o'clock sharp, so you know what that was about. They moved it up to 11:55 so he could walk in at 12 o'clock sharp, keep the rest of the day all on time, but he was 5 minutes late so he could make this joke.
I'll take there's my $10. So let's get that out of the way right away.
Listen to everybody laughing.
I pay my debts. I'll take a money order from the advocate. I don't take a check because it might bounce. Oh, yours, it's personal. I thought it was a business expense.
That was Leah in the front. Anyway, y'all, his jokes are not good, okay? They're not. He's not funny. His jokes aren't good. But I have so much appreciation for someone who is trying to bring some degree of levity into something that people take very seriously. Every great drama has its comedic relief, right? Brian Kelly is trying to do that, to make things loose at times. And I appreciate the attempts at levity. And maybe I spent way too much time on all this, but I'm just trying to give you context. I know a lot of you are going to see that clip, and you're going to hear everybody laugh. But the reason I was laughing is because everybody understood the whole context of the circumstance. So I continue to not understand why Brian Kelly has drawn the ire of so many people outside of here, who he crossed during his career. I don't know, because I still don't know him well enough. But he has been, with us anyway, in a short amount of time, affable and engaging and warm and easy and great to work with. So y'all know me, I don't shill for the home team. It's not my job to defend Brian Kelly. That's not what I do. I am just the public perception of the man and what I have experienced so far in covering him for 9 months are so incredibly opposite. It makes me wonder, how did this disconnect happen? Like, does everyone just have the wrong impression of him, or is he just showing us a different side? And maybe that'll resolve in time, but I thought it was hilarious today because he basically dunked on all of his haters, and that was pretty cool. It's After Further Review. Cole Cubelic next.
AFR.
Brought to you by River City's 1 Hour Air, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime. 752-0001, 752-0001, 752-0001 for River City's 1 Hour Air, where, call them up, they'll send a tech out to your house, and you could have an experience like Roseanne Hemel did. She sent this 5-star review via Facebook. Efficient, timely service, knowledgeable and personable, willing to answer questions and provide assurances that the system is working as it should. Great work ethics, job well done. That was a 5-star Facebook review from Roseanne Hemel. You can go check it out, read it yourself if you'd like. But you'll see the same experience that I've had and told you about for years and years and years at River City's 1 Hour Air. 752-0001. Look for the big yellow vans and trucks with the giant clock on the side. You can't miss them all over town. It's River City's 1 Hour Air. 752-0001, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
ITI's got all these programs. Once I started and learned everything about the school, it was worth it.
The challenges that ITI presented me with, it allowed me to build myself up.
All because of ITI, I actually was able to get a job within 3 months before graduation in my field.
Get the hands-on training you need for the job you've always wanted. With so many companies hiring right now, it's the perfect time to come to ITI Technical College. Enroll today for a better life.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $12,000 off MSRP on all new 2022 Ram Black Widow trucks in stock. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty and free delivery. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou is going to do right by you.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big D and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Light beer shouldn't taste like water. Miller Lite has more taste and only...
After Further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding. Call 288-8138 or visit reliefwindows.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. He enjoys Victory cigars and pancake blocks. It's time to preview this week in the SEC with Cole Cubelic, presented by Roosters Men's Grooming.
So good. It's the worst ever, but it's so good. Cole, how are you, man?
I'm doing great. How about you?
Doing awesome, man. What did you learn about Brian Kelly's squad this weekend when you were in Tiger Stadium?
That if Southern plays at LSU, it's going to take you 2 hours to go 3 miles.
Confirmed. That's true.
I mean, good Lord. That was unbelievable. First off, the scene was just crazy good. Obviously, halftime performance special. Environment was just really cool. Great to see Southern get that opportunity. But it took us an hour and 15 minutes to get there. It usually takes us 20 minutes. We stayed at the Hilton downtown.
Oh,
and it took us legit 2 hours to get home.
Man. That does not surprise me.
That was, leaving a good 30 minutes after the game ended, if not 40 minutes after the game ended. And I mean, I walked back to our truck to get more food for everybody twice, and I walked 50 yards and 100 yards back, and the car just had not moved each time. So it was a fun game, fun atmosphere. I think the offensive line shakeup's going to be beneficial. I think Dellinger's got more of a guard mentality. I think long term that'll end up helping him out. I think Charles Turner, a guy that just kind of understands the position in its totality a little bit more. I think they get more physical with the new lineup that they have with Miles Frazier going to right tackle. Will Campbell, I was really surprised to hear the coaches say right now we think he's our best all-around offensive lineman. Not because of anything that has to do with Will. It's just I haven't heard anybody, I don't think ever, say a true freshman after 2 games or after 1 game is our best all-around offensive lineman. That's just tough to do in this league. So it says a lot about him, where he is in what he's done so far. And I was really excited to see some of the stuff he did Saturday night. But I think that group gets a little bit better with the new lineup, the new shakeup. I was also learned just that tempo is going to be very important for this team. Talking to the world famous Jack Marucci before the game, telling me that he keeps some different sort of analysis and statistics. He said that Jaden Daniels was 9 of 9 in the first game when the play clock was at 18 seconds or higher. So basically saying that when they sped it up, he got more comfortable. He was more effective. And both Coach Denbrock and Coach Kelly told us we're going to be better if we go faster. We're going to be better when we use tempo. And so that's going to be a bigger part of who we are. I just didn't really expect to hear that about this team this year. So probably some of the bigger takeaways. You saw how Kayshawn got the ball a little bit early on. I think that obviously there was a little more emphasis there, in kind of trying to keep him happy. And the defense, it's hard to really get a feel for because, you're kind of waiting on Fouché. Now you got Mason Smith out. Olajari didn't go in the first half. So I think it's just like you're kind of mixing and matching. Seven Banks hadn't been out there yet. There's all these positions that are kind of, Ali Gay missed the first half. Olajari was out the whole game. So I don't really know what to make of the defense right now. It's a group that I had high expectations for week 1, but because of the guys that are in, the guys that are out, the guys that are out a little bit, the guys that are going to be in the lineup at some point, I'm not really sure what to make of what that defense is going to be just yet.
Hey, Cole, I know you and I don't have like a whole hour to talk, so I want to make sure we maximize our time. Are we all assuming Bama's going to be okay? Because I can move on to other stuff if we're just assuming they're going to be fine.
It depends on your context in which you're saying that. Like, are they going to lose 5 games? No. Are there more losable games on the schedule? Yeah, absolutely. I think the most important thing to keep in mind, Matt, is other teams watched or will watch that game. And I think for the ones that were able to watch it live, like for the teams that played Saturday night, and like I did, sitting in my hotel room, got to see all of that game and the emotion that was involved in it and just kind of how close it actually was. Because you can watch it on film and have no idea what the score is.
Yeah.
Because I watch film and I just watch an offensive line and somebody will be like, oh, man, that team lost by 40. I'm like, well, I didn't even look at the score. I was just watching so-and-so. So, I don't really care. But for the teams that saw emotionally what it was, like how close it was, how dangerous that game really was for Arkansas, for Tennessee, for Auburn, maybe for LSU, like that changes their perspective of that game going into it now. That may be the worst thing that happened for Alabama. Is not the corners, if you can get them in one-on-ones, it's going to be a problem. Or, they don't have receivers that can separate, so you can play them a different way defensively. I think that, if you have interior defensive linemen that can be problematic, you're going to have a big advantage. That's all great. Everyone's going to see that. But for the guys that got a true feel for how that game went, I think that can be a bit of an eye-opener, and it can kind of change your attitude heading in. There will be teams now that believe they can beat them. And how many times is that the case every year for the last 6-8 years?
That's a great point.
Not many.
Yeah.
There are not many teams who I believe line up on a Saturday and say, we're going to beat this team today. Just don't think that's a real thing very often. So that's a massive part of it. And then, too, I think when you talk about just some of those other issues that were sort of highlighted that will be put on film that teams can go look at, some of them are easily correctable. Some of them aren't. I don't know if the receiver situation necessarily can get a whole lot better. I mean, the corner situation kind of is what it is. And everybody, they called into my show this morning. They still want Pete Golding gone. They've been asking for this for 4 years now. I'm like, listen, man, first off, the last time I checked, Pete Golding doesn't coach corners. And the other time I checked, like when you've got corners that are in phase, in position, stride for stride, to go make a play and they don't, I mean, I can't just go point to coaching automatically on that. Like, I'm sorry. They held that team to 19 points, Matt.
Yeah.
They held that team to 371 yards. Like, you go ask me a D coordinator in college football right now that says, hey, you're going to hold a high-powered offense with a great coordinator under 400 yards. You good with that? Every single one of them smiling and saying, abso-freaking-lutely. Let's go.
Yeah.
If I can keep you under 400 and keep you under 20 points in today's college football, that's pretty sporty, man. So I'm not as big on it's just the coaching as a lot of other folks are.
Cole Cubelic's with us every week, courtesy of Roosters Men's Grooming, 2 locations in Baton Rouge. 2 teams jumped into the top 10 party, Kentucky and Arkansas. Are you buying Kentucky and Arkansas as top 10 teams?
Arkansas for sure. Yeah. KJ Jefferson's playing really good football. That offensive line is playing good ball. Ricky Stromberg had a hell of a game last week. I love their backs, man. I love the way their backs kind of have an understanding for what the offense is. I love the way they get north and south. I think they're a little more dangerous at the skill position slots than people realize. Jaden Hazelwood, the Oklahoma transfer, is a guy that could create big plays. Trey Knox is a sort of a Swiss Army knife tight end. I mean, he's too light to actually be a tight end. He's a little bit too big to actually be a receiver, so they move him around a lot. He does a lot of things to help him out. Drew Sanders looks like a friggin' first-round draft pick on defense. I mean, the guy should still be at Alabama. And now Barry Odom's got him lining up all over the place, doing all kinds of stuff. So I have some concerns about the third level of their defense, but they're playing really good ball right now. And I think they have the best resume of anybody in college football. I mean, a team that was in the playoff last year and an SEC opponent that a lot of people have high expectations for that added an elite talent at quarterback. I mean, you tell me who has 2 better wins. I don't think anybody does. So I'm pretty impressed with what they've done. I'm a believer in Arkansas. I mean, I like Kentucky a lot. Don't get me wrong. I just I think there were a lot of missed opportunities for Florida in that game Saturday night. A lot. You go back and really dive into it. Anthony Richardson had guys open, and he couldn't hit them. And they dropped a few. I mean, I won't just put it all on him. I've seen a ton of drops in college football, by the way. That's one of the I got 2 things that have hit me to get off track here for a second about college football this year. Number one, and I'm not just talking about shotgun teams because I understand, and because I used to say this about Auburn when people would say, well, they run quarterback sneak on goal line. I'm like, dude, they don't even practice going under center. Why would you do that to your guys? You can't do that. But I'm talking about teams that do practice under center and do run plays under center. The complete ignorance of ignoring the quarterback sneak on 3rd and inches, 3rd and 1, 4th and 1, 4th and inches, it's obscene. The amount of teams that just won't do it. It's unbelievable. And then this almost epidemic of drops that I'm seeing everywhere. And I'm not talking about 1 or 2 teams. Like, I've watched 12 games since I woke up Sunday morning, and the amount of drops it's unbelievable. Arkansas had a ton. Florida had a couple. Auburn had a few. Notre Dame had some. I'm talking in guys' numbers, in their face masks, people are putting the ball on the grass. It's just I don't understand it. I know guys are catching more passes than they've ever caught before. With what kids can do in the summer now, jug machine, 7-on-7 growing up, there's literally no explanation for why so many guys are dropping so many passes. I just don't understand it. It's crazy.
It's also kind of inexplainable what happened at A&M this weekend.
It is and it isn't, though.
Okay.
And I tried to warn people before the year. I'm like, just be careful. And what I really tried to warn people about is the Miami game is even more dangerous because of how beat up they'll be after that App State game. Because of how they run that stretch play, they cut the backside of it. The D linemen aren't going to like it. I mean, trust me, I could show you film against South Carolina from 2018, I think it was, where that D line wanted nothing to do with it in the third and fourth quarter.
With App State.
Correct.
Okay.
They checked the F out on that deal. Didn't want it. And that is the group that brings 4 linemen back. They lost Bear Hunter, their center. They got 4 other guys back. They have 2 backs, and they didn't even have to get Nate Noel going. Cam Peoples at 6'2", 220 was enough. He pounded them. The defensive line gets after you. The North Carolina stuff is inexplicable defensively what happened to them, but they play a certain style, and it's tough to deal with, and those kids play hard. It's all the kids that are 2 inches too short, or half a second too slow, but they play hard, man. And the scheme that they run, the system they run is tough to deal with. A&M had 9 possessions. 9. So just think about that. You punt 3 times, you turn it over twice. All right, you got 4 chances to maximize what you're going to be able to do to us. If you don't get in the end zone those 4 times, I feel like we got a pretty good chance to beat you. So, I mean, time of possession can be a stat that's sometimes really stupid and sometimes tells you the entire story. And when I think it's your strategy going in, and that's part of how you have to win a game, it tells you a lot about the game, and that's exactly what happened there. I mean, Southern lost time of possession against Florida Baptist or whatever it was. Well, they outgained them like 6-10 to 92 or something, but they lost time of possession. So in that kind of game, who cares? But when that's what you have to do, kind of like what Army did to Oklahoma a couple of years ago. They kept 7 possessions they gave them. All right? So they make you maximize your touches. And then if you don't, you're all of a sudden in a lot of trouble. And that's where A&M found themselves Saturday. But that's a team that physically can match up with just about anybody. And if they get decent quarterback play, they're going to be tough to beat. And Chase Bryce didn't play great against North Carolina. I thought he played okay against A&M, but I thought their defense played well. I mean, A&M's offensive line kind of looked out of sorts. Haynes King's just not the answer at quarterback. And, yeah, man, they got punched in the face.
You expect Max Johnson this weekend against Miami?
You got to at least see him.
Yeah, right.
You have to. I mean, Haynes King's not going to win you a ton of games. The delivery's too long. He doesn't have a strong enough arm to make the throws he needs to make in the windows that he's going to have to fit them in, especially when they get into SEC play. And I don't think his maneuverability and mobility is that valuable. It's not valuable to that extent. If Auburn said down the road, they're like, all right, we're just going to go with Robbie Ashford. His legs are that dynamic. Last year if Dan Mullen would have said Anthony Richardson knows a quarter of the playbook, but you know what? He's so dynamic we have to go with him. You kind of understand that. Well, Haynes King's movement is not that dynamic to where you say, all right, we got to have him in because of the way he moves and runs. It's not to that extent. So I think Max has got to get a shot soon or else, they're going to have trouble moving the ball.
Yeah. Hey, Cole, last thing, we always appreciate the visit. LSU has Mississippi State coming in, so it's obviously a different type of challenge. It's a week that I think kind of always makes everybody uneasy because of what that Mike Leach offense can be. How do you think LSU and State match up?
There are parts of this that I really like for LSU. Olajario, I think he'll be back. Ali Gay, obviously going to be there. You got some youngsters that I'm kind of anxious to see off the edge. I think they'll get some opportunities against a team like this and kind of see what they do, like a Harold Perkins, if he's allowed to line up and just sort of rush the quarterback a little bit. He's a really natural bender and a guy who's still learning every day. So I think some of the guys up front could be a real problem for Mississippi State. They gave up some pressures against 3 playing Arizona last weekend. So it's on tape that you can do it. And so you still have some guys on the back. Here's the one thing that I like about LSU. Week 1, you didn't see enough of it in week 2 just because kind of how the game went. But 3 and 5 were flying to the football, super aggressive, not afraid to come down and play the run. And the one thing that people don't talk about that you have to do against Mississippi State is tackle. You've got to get guys to the ground. because it's going to be so many quick throws, so many screens, so many outlets, so many checkdowns that if you tackle well, you're going to make it a really long night for that group. But I'll say this, Will Rogers is really good, man. Like, he is not just a good air raid quarterback. He is a really good quarterback, period. He makes really good throws down the field. He's super accurate down the field. So they better get to him. Otherwise, I think it'll be a long night. And then offensively, you know, the way to beat Mississippi State when you're on offense is athleticism. So do not be surprised to see more quarterback runs implemented. Do not be surprised to see maybe some different players lined up in the backfield and try to take advantage of them on the perimeter, because I think that's where you can get them. That's where they can be had. But they ain't going right at them. I'll tell you that. LSU will not go right at this Mississippi State defense. It's not happening. They're not good enough up front, and State's just filthy up front. Like, I'm trying to think of a way to say where people don't think that I'm, like, talking bad about them, but like, when I say they're a dirty team, I don't mean like they play a dirty style of football. Like, I mean they play like the kind of football that a lot of guys don't like to play. Like, they'll do the heavy lifting, the dirty work. They'll take on blocks, take on double teams. Like, they're hard to move. They're going to fight you for the entire play. Like, they're just kind of a back alley defense. They don't run great. And like I said, not super great on the perimeter, but you don't want to fight them in a phone booth. So I think there's going to have to be numerous guys that are used in different ways to try and take advantage of this Mississippi State defense. The good news is you get them at home. I mean, their game ended at like 2 a.m. Central.
Yeah.
So, you know, they had to fly home. So they're not getting home until like 8 o'clock in the morning, probably, after they get back to the bus and fly home. So you can just – Sunday is a wash. Like, it's just done. Like, I wouldn't even have tried to do anything on Sunday. So you're down a day to prepare. Well, then you got to travel. So there's a travel day coming over to Baton Rouge. I mean, I would not be surprised if Leach pulled like a Tommy Tuberville and said, we're flying in there Saturday morning, man. Like, we've got to just chill out and rest as much as humanly possible. I don't think that worked out well for Tommy when he did that, but I would not be surprised if you see something different schedule-wise, because they've got to be really careful with their schedule this week.
He is Cole Cubelic of the SEC Network, Jocks FM in the morning. You can check him and Greg McElroy's on Twitter at Cole Cubelic, and with us every single Monday here, courtesy of our friends over at Roosters Men's Grooming, with 2 locations in Baton Rouge. Tell me what the Cole Cubelic special or the Matt Moscona special, either way. We appreciate you, man. Thanks as always.
Always good stuff, man. And I'll tell you, I had a couple people that were like, man, I really appreciate you going on with Moscona on the Mondays. And I'm like, what, do most people not want to go on with him? Like, what are we talking about? Like, I enjoy going on with the guy. Like, I'm not doing like some giant favor. Like, I have fun when I do it. So I was surprised that people were surprised that I agreed to do it.
Maybe it just depends on who you talk to. I don't know.
Maybe Gordy Rush, but I don't know who it was.
Oh, okay. Well, if it was Gordy, that's completely because I bothered him for 7 years about getting me a new chair because he's such a cheapskate. That's why. I'll tell you that story next time I see you. We appreciate you, man. Thank you. All right, man. That's care. Cole Cubelic of the SEC Network on Twitter at Cole Cubelic, courtesy of Roosters Men's Grooming. You can check out the haircut services, gift cards, all online. Do the straight shave. It's so relaxing. You might fall asleep in the chair. It's at Roosters Men's Grooming, 2 locations in Baton Rouge Town Center, and then in southeast part of Baton Rouge, like right there on Old Perkins and Highland, directly across from the entrance to Blue Bayou Water Park. All right, it's after further review. We'll knock out a quick break. We will come back and continue. Michael Thomas, boy, did he re-announce himself to the entirety of the football world yesterday. A little bit of what Dennis Allen had to say coming off the win against Atlanta. Stay here. It's AFR.
AFR.
Better coverage for less money. That's what Insurance Network of Louisiana offers every single day. Better coverage for less money. We all have to have insurance. So many of us overpaying, underinsured. Insurance Network of Louisiana. The process is simple. They shop independently for free to get you better coverage for less money. I share great testimonials every single day of people who have saved literally thousands of dollars. Y'all, there's no reason, literally none. There's no reason not to make this phone call. It is free. There is no catch. There is no fine print. They just take the information about your current coverage, and then they use their relationships to go shop dozens of top-rated companies to see if they can get you better coverage for less money. And then if they can, great, switch. If not, stick with what you got. Literally the worst thing that could happen is they say, hey, the coverage you have right now is perfect. Stick with it. That's the worst thing that could happen. It's Insurance Network of Louisiana, 293-0450, 293-0450, or lainsurance.net.
Go back to school in style with a new or pre-owned vehicle from Corval Toyota in Opelousas. It's an easy process, and vehicles are getting to our lot weekly. Make the decision now or reserve your new Toyota today. Come on down to Corval Toyota in Opelousas. That's Happy Town, USA.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
It's no secret, the best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
I'm Jay Ducote. I grew up learning how to cook at LSU tailgate parties and right in my own backyard. And I created JD's Louisiana products to bring that Louisiana flavor to you at home for your backyard cookout. JD's Louisiana barbecue sauce, Louisiana molasses mustard, spicy and sweet barbecue rub, and more are available at your local supermarkets or by logging on to jducote.com/shop. Put in promo code CST for 25% off at checkout.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding. Call 288-8138 or visit reliefwindows.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
First and goal from the Atlanta 9. Winston throws, end zone, touchdown! It's Thomas again!
Well, I told y'all too, I was like, man, this is going to be our first time together. We got to get things going. And then as you see, as the game started going away, like we start getting on the same page and we start, and it's the communication. Like it's communication on the sidelines, it's communication throughout the week. And I'm just so happy that we as an offense, we all started to click at the right time.
Man, oh man, did Michael Thomas emphatically re-announce his presence to the NFL. 2 late touchdowns in that ball game when the team absolutely had to have it. Down 16 in the fourth quarter, the Saints rallied to start the season 1-0 after they stunned the Atlanta Falcons, who just remain the league's epitome of teams that do not know how to close a game. And it's hilarious to watch, and especially whenever it's the Saints doing the honors. But Michael Thomas was a huge story for so many reasons. And if you think about what the last 2 years have been like, him trying to play through injury, ultimately having the ankle surgery, we know what last offseason was. the second ankle surgery, which cost him all of last year. There were thoughts and talks of whether or not New Orleans should move on from Michael Thomas, if they should trade Michael Thomas. Would he ever revert to form? So many of those questions. Well, it took him a while to get going in the game. They targeted him early, and Jameis threw a ball that was a little behind him, and he couldn't quite get around and make the play. Would have been a tough catch for sure. But late in that game, boy, Michael Thomas got going. 5 catches, 57 yards, 2 touchdowns, 5 catches on the 8 targets. And he reminded you why he is who he is. Contested catches, they went right after A.J. Terrell late in that ball game, and Michael Thomas time and again came up. Do you know how clearly important it was to him when the first touchdown ball, he just wouldn't put it down on the sideline? If you were watching the Fox broadcast, he carried the ball with him to the sideline, and almost until the offense went back on the field, he was holding the ball. He just wouldn't put it down. That's a guy who wants to be out there. It means something to him. Some guys are just out there for a check to make their way of life, and there's no judgment here for whatever it is that motivates you. Michael Thomas wants to be great and wants to be great again, and if he can continue performing the way he did in the fourth quarter against Atlanta, there's a lot of reason to have confidence in him. And Dennis Allen, after the game, talked about the confidence that they have in Michael Thomas.
Yeah, look, they do a lot of different stuff in terms of how they, Sean used to say confidence is born out of demonstrated ability, and so I've seen him do that a million times. And so, yeah, I'm very confident that, if we need a play like that he can come up and make the play, and he did.
One more from Dennis Allen on having Michael Thomas back with him.
No, it was great to see him back. He's done everything that we've asked him to do. He's totally bought into this team, and yeah, I'm excited about seeing him out there and making plays, and that's why he's here, and that's what he did.
That doesn't feel like lip service. When you say he's totally bought into the team, that doesn't feel like a head coach who's just publicly backing his player, because you get to see it as well in the game's biggest moments and how much it mattered to Michael Thomas. So it was great to see him back out there. And the fact that Thomas, Jarvis, Olave all had their moments, it shows that, yeah, you can have 3 great receivers and all 3 can eat like they did on Sunday in Atlanta. All right, it's After Further Review. Now, we're brought to you by Shaw Bills Tire and Auto Service, ShawBillsTire.com. Bumper-to-bumper auto service, name brand tires at wholesale prices. Name brand tires, Michelin, BF Goodrich, Bridgestone, Firestone, the best tires on the road at the cheapest price possible. They will always find a way to sell you name brand tires at wholesale prices. With the manufacturers offer their own in-house offers, ask about the Shaw Bills credit card. You'll get discounts for using the Shaw Bills credit card. If there's a way they can save you money, they're going to do it at Shaw Bills, and they're always going to treat you like family. ShawBillsTire.com for more than 50 years. Bumper-to-bumper auto service and name brand tires at wholesale prices. Shaw Bills, where we keep you rolling. Love to go through bowl projections when we have them. Otterlocks is coming up here in just a few minutes, but ESPN's bowl projections, one has LSU in the Birmingham Bowl against Arizona. The other has LSU in the Liberty Bowl against Iowa State. Either of those would not really be marquee destinations, but it's a building process. For what it's worth, the Las Vegas Bowl.
Vegas, baby, Vegas!
Bonagura has Florida against Washington State, and Schleybaugh has Texas A&M against UCLA. And let me ask you a question. If you're the Las Vegas Bowl,
Vegas, baby, Vegas!
who you want? A bunch of jorts-wearing weirdos from Gainesville?
Vegas, baby, Vegas!
Or a bunch of grown men wearing milkman outfits and overalls?
Vegas, baby, Vegas!
Or LSU fans?
Vegas, baby, Vegas!
I rest my case. If LSU's not in the college football playoff, they should be a permanent fixture in the Las Vegas Bowl.
Vegas, baby, Vegas!
Otterlocks is next.
AFR.
Want more customers? Running Boards Marketing can help you get their attention. Imagine your brand's message on a giant LED billboard truck that can't be skipped and is nearly impossible to ignore. Running Boards Marketing is the leader in effective and affordable advertising on digital mobile billboards, which are 2 times more effective than traditional billboards. With a 97% recall rate, you'll leave a lasting impression with your customers. Visit us online at runningboardsmarketing.com so we can drive your message to where the people are.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you were born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big V and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Le posso offrire un caffè? Le posso offrire un caffè? Andiamo insieme da me, non c'è.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding. Call 288-8138 or visit reliefwindows.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Down the stretch, we come final segment here on a Monday edition of AFR. One thing left to do, find out what we're betting on tonight. Time for Otter Locks.
Otter Locks, presented by Lofton Staffing Services. At Lofton, we put people to work. Call us today at 924-0200 or go to lofton.jobs.
So we turn to the one and only, the incomparable and of an incomprehensible, the Ottfather himself, Jimmy Ott. Otter, how are you?
I'm doing fantastic after a great day yesterday, Matthew.
Yeah, man.
Glad we could share it with you, huh?
So I was listening to Magnolia Bluff Football Sunday, heard a lot of the plays. The home dogs really were a theme, and man, the Bears, the Lions, the Texans. The Steelers were on the road, but that hit. There were a lot of great plays. I think I ended up 6-2 yesterday, which I needed because Saturday was a bloodbath. Otter, I bet on 14 games on Saturday. I was 1-13.
There is not a sports book in the country that lost money on Saturday.
Bloodbath.
It's Sunday either. So,
Bloodbath. Bloodbath for your boy on Saturday. So I needed it on Sunday. All right.
Nothing for a bailout. 4-0 the noon games, 1-1 in the evening games. And this is one where I like a lot as well. So Russell Wilson making his return. Look, Seattle might not have some packed houses or rowdy atmospheres late in the season, but on opening week with Russell Wilson coming back, the 12th man will be in effect. I look for an emotional effort, almost college-like. I mean, Seattle's going to lay it all out tonight. I love the points at home against Denver here. Too many question marks for the Broncos. They're improved, sure. I thought they had a much better roster, and if they had a better quarterback play, they'd be better. But I don't know if they're just ready turnkey for a Super Bowl run. So we'll see. Lots of points on the road. Prime time. The last 104 games, 60-44 against the spread. Prime time dogs. So that's what we're dealing with tonight. Seattle plus the 6.5.
Boy, man, them home. You talked about it all week. The home dogs, man. Boy, they were live yesterday.
I told Musso and Hanny on the pregame show. I said,
1 minute.
I'll be on all the garbage teams tomorrow with the home dogs. The Bears, the Texans, the
Lions,
the Lions, and there's one of they went Falcons. They went 3-1. So
incredible.
Against the spread. So the all important equalizer in the NFL, the point spread. Lions lose again, but they cover again. They're playing hard. Keep playing hard, baby.
They do. They keep covering.
Keep playing hard.
All right, Otter, where are you tonight, man?
Spokane Hub. What a great weekend we had this past Saturday and Sunday, and we'll get ready for Monday Night Football tonight. We got some baseball picks actually as well.
All right, Game Time with Jimmy Ott follows us in Baton Rouge or 1045ESPN.com. Thank you, Otter. All right, it's after further review. Love telling you about GMFS Mortgage, GMFSmortgage.com. Changing lives since 1999. Home buy, refi, construction loans. That's our friends at GMFS Mortgage. Always online at GMFSmortgage.com. All right, y'all have an awesome day. Thanks so much for watching and listening. We'll see you tomorrow at 3.
AFR.
As we get on down the road, going to take 60 seconds to remind you about our friends over at Mold Zero USA. That's mold-zero, Z-E-R-O, mold-zero-usa.com. If you have mold issues or odors in your home, your office, your place of business, call Mold Zero. It is a patented dry fog technology. It is non-toxic, completely safe for you, for your family, for your pets. So you don't have to get everybody out of the house for days at a time. Just a couple hours until it dries. Mold Zero. Learn more about this process and how you can eliminate odor and mold from your home in every nook and cranny. It's Mold Zero USA, servicing the entire Baton Rouge and New Orleans area. Mold Zero USA. To find the phone number for Baton Rouge and New Orleans, go to mold-0usa.com.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $12,000 off MSRP on all new 2022 Ram Black Widow trucks in stock. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty and free delivery. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou is going to do right by you.
When I was a boy, I spent my days climbing trees, catching fish. Barefoot in the river I walked, listening to crickets, counting stars. This was home. After my stroke, I wondered if I'd make it back to the people and places I love. But I got the right doctors with Blue Cross coverage. Your card matters. Your home does too.
There it is, the extra mile. On the border of expected and extraordinary. For those willing to go further. Like vans customized for work or play. With safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz.